Yeah, there's a lot of films
Yeah.
of decent movies that came out this year, like movies that I wouldn't mind watching multiple times. So
Yeah, I got a top 4, so I couldn't
A
narrow
top
it down to
four.
3. So.
Ooh.
I feel like I should put some honorable mentions up here. I don't know, honestly. It's a little it's challenging.
Gonna be a hard night.
And some of these films I've only seen once, but I remember enjoying them. So I don't know if my memories would serve me correctly if I rewatched them. I don't know if I'd feel the same way about them or not.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, we're going to start with 97, and I gotta say, to me, it was a pretty massive year for films, and there's too many. I watched about this is probably the biggest year that I've watched 6 films.
I was gonna say,
It's like a record.
3.
Yeah, not 3, no 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So which movies did you watch?
Okay, I gotta remember. So there was The Fifth Element. I saw that. Jackie Brown.
That was last night.
Air Force One. And
Liar, Liar.
okay, Liar, Liar. That's another one.
And you saw 2 Nick Cage movies.
Oh yeah, Face Off. And what was the other one? I don't. Okay.
The bunny gets it.
Oh yeah, Con Air. Yeah.
I think those are the only ones you watched. It was a lot, and there were. Oh no, you saw another one. You saw Absolute Power.
Oh yeah, would that be considered 7?
7.
Well, actually, make that 9 because of Perfect Blue and End of Evangelion.
Oh yeah, well I mean, but you didn't watch those in preparation for the live stream.
Oh, but I've seen them.
I know you have.
They count.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, there's Colin.
Hey everyone.
Hey Colin.
How's it going?
How you doing?
I'm good. Good to be here.
Good. We just got started. Arturo was telling us the movies that he watched in preparation for the discussion, and he watched quite a few. He watched 7.
Nice. All right.
Cool. So he's a little bit more prepared for this year than the previous years.
I would be surprised if Corey gets on. I'll be surprised he didn't see most of life me.
Oh, is he coming?
Has.
Well, I'm not sure. To be honest.
He doesn't always commit, and sometimes we don't hear from him at all, so we have no idea if he's going to be showing up. He may pop in the middle of it. I don't know, but
I guess
I'm
we'll
sure
find
he's
out. So the box office rank. My mom's favorite movie of all time, Titanic, number 1.
He's being sarcastic.
You like it?
It is James Cameron.
Yeah, well, James Cameron. This film was a disappointment to me. I just didn't like it at all.
It
made no secret of the fact.
1 million. It made
no. It made almost 2 billion.
Billion. Okay, never mind. 1 billion.
The first
more than 1 billion.
$1 million.
More than that. Way more than a whole 1.8 billion.
Why on earth would it make $1 billion?
It's crazy that
there was
doubled the record.
Teenage girls would see it like 12 times in a row.
Yeah, because everybody was crazy over what's his name.
I remember that.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I was like 12, and exactly like the girls in class were like, "He's so cute," and so naturally, like all us guys were like, "Screw pretty boy Leo." But like, he eventually won me over. I love Leo now.
Yeah,
he's a good actor.
Yeah,
he's a good actor.
Really liked him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's so good in there.
Yeah.
So good.
Can't remember your lines. I practiced them, and now I don't look like a goddamn practice.
Oh, here we go. He's going to quote that whole scene in the trailer.
So did everybody hate that movie?
I mean, I didn't hate it. I saw it, and I don't like romance, but I like the Titanic. You know, I remember as a kid, I would read books about it. It's just kind of like
the story,
life kind of. So I like seeing that the big boat and the wreck was kind of cool, but the romance it's just like way too long. I don't care about the romance.
Yeah,
and it was just.
I only saw
ridiculous to me.
I only saw when the ship sank. That was the only scene I saw.
That's the only good part in my mind.
It gets good when they hit the iceberg.
Yeah, the last 45 minutes or whatever. Is really good.
What's that, Joe?
I said, don't spoil it.
Well, everybody
Oh
knows
no!
what happens.
I know.
in
I heard
Titanic.
that there were actually some people who were talking about it, and someone indicated something about, how terrible it was the ship sank, and the other person was acting like that was a huge spoiler. So they clearly had no knowledge of history of the Titanic.
Time to study some history about the Titanic.
Oh gosh. I mean, I thought that part was well done.
Yeah.
The depiction of everything that happened, and just it's awful. It was terrible to see it play out. I'd seen what was that black and white movie they made of it called A Night to Remember, I think. I had seen that a long time ago. That was actually, I believe, the very first time I ever found out about the Titanic. I was quite young then, and so then that was my introduction to learning about what happened. But I think James Cameron portrayed it pretty decently. It's just the story, the underpinnings of the main stuff with the really ridiculous romance. That left such a bad taste in my mouth. I hate that movie. Plus, I got really tired of the song after a while.
Yeah, oh yeah, the song was everywhere.
I like the Spanish version better.
I remember listening to that one when I was little.
Yeah, you used to like it. You
Was
used to
that
sing
baby?
it.
Is that Baby Arturo?
That is Baby Arturo.
What happened?
He's Benjamin Button.
Oh,
I
Simon.
got young again.
Simon couldn't bear to do the what is it, Leo or Kate for his pay. He had to go Robin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
What
guess
was
that's
that?
for
Good Will Hunting, right?
Yeah, Good Will Hunting. Yeah. I've never seen that movie.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It's a
Really?
great movie.
I've heard it's really good, but I just have never watched it. Never really. I don't know why I just wasn't interested in it. But I've heard it's good.
I'm not very drawn to human character dramas myself.
Me either. That
I
I
might be
guess it
why.
just depends on what it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, y'all aren't gonna like my top 4 list.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
We'll be fine with it, Joe. We'll be fine.
Everybody has a right to their own opinion.
That's
about
right.
a specific film.
Say that with
Number
with
2 was The
Joe.
Lost World Jurassic Park, which I have not seen. I've only seen clips of it.
Really? Do you like the
That
first one? Have you never?
Oh,
watched
yeah.
it?
I love the first one.
Was that the second one?
That's
Yeah.
what I was going to ask. I thought it was the second.
Lost World. The Lost World.
I
It
was
was
gonna-
the second one, right?
Yeah, second one.
Yeah. One thing I loved about
Yeah.
that movie was I feel like that was maybe the most excited I'd been for a movie trailer because that was before like the internet and you knew what was being made in Hollywood. And I remember
Right.
watching the Super Bowl that year, and they would have big movie trailers during the Super Bowl, and they had a preview for The Lost World, and I just freaked out like they're doing another one. And
Oh, I bet that was so
all
exciting.
yes, I
Yeah.
feel like that was one of the all-time. I haven't got that excited by a sequel really since then.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. The first time something like that happened to me was when I saw the Terminator 2 trailer.
Yeah.
And I had no idea it was happening. And at the time, they used to have trailers on the front of VHSs, like
Yeah.
before you'd see the movie. That's how I found out that Terminator 2 was coming.
Nice.
That's how I was so freaking excited.
Like better than the movie you watched, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if you still have that VHS.
No, because I think it was a rental. I think it was a
Uh.
rental tape. Yeah.
And with
And
the
I
Lost
couldn't tell you.
World, I really like it. I don't think it's as good as the first one. I think it's solid, dinosaur adventure movie. For me though, like Malcolm was my favorite character, and I was so glad they brought him back. But I felt like they completely changed his character, as like he was so likable because he was kind of like a selfish jackass in a way. He was maybe not jackass, but he was kind of self-centered and a cool roguish character, I guess. And then in the sequel, he was like the compassionate family man. And it
Now, which character was Malcolm again? Was that
Jeff
Sam
Goldblum.
Neill? Jeff. Okay, that Jeff Goldblum. Okay. Oh yeah.
he was like the star of the second one. And
Oh, okay.
he switched his character, I think, because he was the star. He wasn't a supporting character. He couldn't be the kind of like whatever, it's all crazy. You know, he was like, I care about my family, and it was just like a typical protagonist. And
Yeah, they
messed it
probably should have kept him the way he was because that
Yeah.
might would have made the film better.
Yeah, I think that's why they brought him back, because he was like the fan favorite. But then
Mhm.
they changed it. It was still a good movie though. Like the trailer scene, the trailer going off the cliff was excellent. There's a lot of good stuff in that movie.
I don't even remember much at all about it. I think I watched it, but I don't remember, to be honest. If I did, I've forgotten so much about it.
Vince Vaughn, that was like the first movie I saw him in.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah, it's Vince Vaughn, Julianne Moore, Jeff Goldblum, were the three leads. Pete Postlewaite was the villain.
So, did Sam Neill come back for any of them?
He was in the third one.
The third one. Okay, I saw bits and pieces of the third one, and also I think Téa Leoni was in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen parts of that, but I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
I think it's a little less good in the second one, but still all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dinosaurs are cool if you like dinosaurs.
Right. The book was cool. The first book was well. There was only one book, but that was really.
Oh no,
good,
he did. He wrote a sequel. I read the sequel.
He did. Did
Oh,
he
really?
really? Was it called The Lost World?
Yeah. And it was. I think
read
they
that
actually semi-adapted the movie from the book a little bit, but there's more changes in the movie.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But it's still Malcolm goes back, and it's kind of a similar. The book actually was better than the movie. I think the sequel was pretty.
Okay.
I like the book.
I feel like I should read that. I feel like I should read or listen to the first one, and then jump into the second one because I really don't think I ever read the second one.
It's cool that it's like the books are more like for adults. Like the movies are all ages, but the books are like more violent and adult, but it's still dinosaurs. Like so, it's kind of like that.
Well, the first book scared the crap out of me when I was reading
I was
it.
gonna say.
And I was an adult.
Yeah.
It's like knew there was a velociraptor under the bed. It was so good.
Yeah, it's good. I still like the first one. Really good.
Yeah.
Still holds up, I think.
It does.
Yeah, the first one's all time.
So number 3 is Men in Black. I actually did see this one.
You saw this one before.
Yeah, way before.
Yeah.
Will Smith. And
No, I mean, yeah, like
Will
before
Smith,
you even watch movies for this year. You saw this, what, a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
That was really good. I like that one.
Me too.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
I thought the dynamic between Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones was really good. But I mean, Tommy Lee Jones is he's just fun in general to watch because he's got such a dry delivery to everything. Yeah. And he looks like the expression on his face in a lot of his acting looks like he's just smirking at everything and everybody, including the audience.
Well, I mean, I thought he was really good in The Fugitive. That was good.
Was good.
Yeah.
Was good.
And here, he's those people that cover up aliens, which they
You
are
never
out there.
saw the third one, did you, Arturo?
I did not.
The second, I think the third one is better than the second.
I did. Yeah, I saw the second one.
I think none of them really recaptured the first one though. For me.
No,
No.
not
First one was
exactly.
Really, it's just kind of exciting and new, I guess. And Will Smith and the special effects were good. It was fun and cool.
This was like a year after Independence Day. He was already fighting aliens, and he has to recruited
fighting
again
aliens
in the Men in Black organization to fight aliens again.
Yep. He was busy, man.
This guy can't get a break.
It's always aliens.
Yeah. The fourth one is Tomorrow Never Dies. I have not seen that James Bond movie.
Is that the one? Is that the one with Halle Berry in it?
No.
No?
I think that's Die Another Day.
Die Another Day. Okay.
It came after Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay.
Or two more after, one more.
The only thing I know about Tomorrow Never Dies is I played a little bit of the video game. That's about it.
Probably wasn't as good as GoldenEye, right?
I mean, it was like a third-person shooter game. I mean, I liked the beginning levels, but by the third level, I think I was very confused with what I was supposed to do.
The movie was kind of forgettable. I felt like just another.
Is that the one with Terry Hatcher.
Denise Richards. I think I saw the picture. Is it Denise Richards? Or
I think she. Yeah, maybe both of them. Because Denise was in. I think I heard Simon say,
Yeah, Terry Hatcher's in it.
Okay.
I remember. I remember one of the actresses. She actually had a bit of an attitude towards the main actor. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
No.
Well, yeah. I guess the main girl in there. All I know is like she was also pregnant at the time, so I guess that didn't help. She was like having an attitude or something.
Well, if I remember correctly, Denise Richards ended up being the main Bond girl in there, and Terry Hatcher was sort of like the secondary one.
I think I'm wrong. I'm looking it up. I think Denise Richards was the one after this. Something the world or something. I don't know. World was not enough, maybe.
Forgettable.
Dying Another Day was the fourth and final Brosnan.
Michelle
Yeoh was in. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay, I don't know if it was her or not, Arturo.
The video game music was actually really awesome.
I guess we don't have much more to say about that movie.
No, moving along.
Moving on.
Number 5 is Air Force One. Really like that movie.
Cool. Yeah, I like that's a good one. Yeah.
Get off my plane.
Yeah.
It's like, Gary Oldman played such a good bad guy.
After watching this and Fifth Element, I gotta say he's probably one of my favorite actors now.
That's awesome you say that, because I remember the same thing, like seeing him in movies back over and over. Like, this dude can do anything. He's awesome. Like he's an all-time great. Yeah,
he's so versatile.
He looks different too in every movie.
Yeah.
The first time I ever noticed him was when he played Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah,
in Batman Begins. I was like my first exposure to him. And now watching these two films this year, just seeing how he could just change his character.
He was so funny in the film.
He was. Oh my God. Goodness, Air Force One, he was a monster.
Yeah,
he was
a good bad guy.
He was a good bad guy in The Hitman's Bodyguard. He was actually pretty scary in there. So I think he plays bad guys almost better than good guy types.
Well, I mean, he did really well as Commissioner Gordon.
He did, but he seems
he was
more.
Also in Leon the Professional, he was the bad guy.
Yep. I was thinking that. Yeah, I was.
That's right. And he was scary in there.
Yeah, he's a really good bad guy.
I don't know. Or something where he just plays.
I think it's harder to play a bad guy because it's kind of like you're supposed to not like him, but also like not be so filled with distaste that you don't want to watch the movie. Like, there's got to be some type of, I don't know what it is, but
it's a balance you have to strike.
Would you say the villain he played in Air Force One was pretty well balanced with what his goals and motives were, but you also hate him at the same time?
He was hardcore. He was not messing around.
No,
at all.
He wanted to go back to the days of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, he missed that old style communism. But in The Fifth Element, he was bad, but he was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's like number 2.
Every time he opened the box, and there was nothing.
Nothing was going right.
Yeah. He sounded so Southern too.
Yes, he did, and he's really convincing with his accents as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you guys watched Fifth Element, because that's one of my all-time favorites, not just of the year.
Oh wow,
that one was a good movie. And what's that guy's name? The one that was very sassy.
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Yeah. Like how did he pronounce the main guy's name?
Dallas. What's the guy's name? Dallas. What was his name?
Dallas.
Corbin Dallas.
Corbin Dallas.
Corbin Dallas.
Wait, who? How did
Corbin Dallas?
Corbin Dallas. The way he would say his whole name every time, practically.
Dallas.
Hey, Corbin Dallas. You okay, Corbin Dallas?
Corbin Dallas.
He was so funny.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like his performance in there. They felt he was too over the top, but I thought he cracked me up. I thought he was funny.
top. That's why it's awesome. It's kind of just
Yeah,
like
exactly. Exactly.
and I
Yes,
like
he did. He did.
I like
that.
that it's like kind of I don't want to say hopeful, but in a certain sense optimistic look at the future. Like I always think about the president where he's like, I'm looking at the lives of my 200 billion people, and it's this
Yeah.
futuristic world, and it's not like apocalyptic and dark, you know. I
Right.
like that sense that it's a possible kind of cool future that's not all
Yeah.
up, you know.
Not dreary, not like a Blade Runner type of look.
Yeah, it's super
You know,
colorful and fun.
Depressing.
Yeah.
Hi. Thanks for joining us. We're good.
Walk
Hope you
on-
are as well.
Walk on,
Walk on,
always believe.
believe. I'm not sure if I know who this person is. Maybe on the other platform like Discord. I don't know. So sorry if I don't recognize that username. Sometimes I get usernames and real names.
Or is
confused.
it Ken?
I don't
Because
know.
technically Ken was on board for this discussion.
I don't know if that's Ken. I doubt it, but watch him surprise me and say it is him.
But yeah, Air Force One was like I would say I already kind of expected the typical way it was going to end anyway, but it was still pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun ride.
Mm-hmm. And you know,
Sure.
Harrison Ford's character, he can't do anything. Like the save, like especially that one scene was a specific hostage. You know.
Yeah. He was helpless. There wasn't much he could do, but he was cool. He was a cool president because he kicked ass.
He kicked ass. Yeah. Get off my plane.
Not many of our presidents can do that.
Well, wasn't he in the military? His character was supposed to be like in the military.
Maybe because I didn't watch it with you when you saw it. I had to leave.
And what's that actor's name? He's like almost everywhere. He's in X-Files, he's in Terminator, he's in The Walking Dead, he's
Robert
in
Patrick. Wait, he's in X-Files and Terminator. Robert Patrick.
the guy, the actor that I'm talking about, he was in Terminator 2 as
Xander Berkeley.
yeah, him.
Xander Berkeley.
He was in this film.
He's got that face that you just always recognize, and I somehow remembered his name probably because of
he is everywhere.
the show 24. He played in 24 for a while.
But like that's what I'm saying. He's everywhere.
He's in a lot of things. Yeah, he's one of those side character types that shows up in a lot of films. He's a good actor.
But in Terminator, Terminator 2, if most people have seen it, he gets killed. So he decided to
with
retire.
A spike right through the head.
So he decided to retire, get reincarnated as the president's security.
Was that the guy from the vending machine scene?
No, that's the foster father of John.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, the spike was through the mouth, but
Yeah.
out the back of the head.
Yeah.
It was a long time before I put the connection together that his foster mother was Vasquez from
Yes.
Aliens.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And she was also in Titanic.
Vasquez was.
Yep. She was one of
was in
the
Lethal
4
Weapon.
people in the lower bunk area that was, I think she was lying down on the bed or getting ready to prepare to die. Maybe she had her kids with her. I can't remember, but she was in there too.
Hey, Brett.
Hi, Brett from England. Been collecting physical media since 2008. I am so much more appreciative of physical media now than I think I ever have been, especially when our internet goes out.
Yeah.
Like it did last night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just watching a show that I have on Blu-ray. Nothing else to do.
I've got a lot of my favorite comedy on DVD. So
Yeah.
if it goes out, I just throw that. I can throw it on.
Yeah.
repeat.
Digital's convenient, but sometimes I've been hearing stories of people that have titles on Vudu that they just disappear from the platform, even if they purchased them.
Yeah.
So that's not cool. Yeah, that's right. I was noticing that when we were watching it the other day. I had completely forgotten about that as well.
Opening scene, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And
it made me
simple.
kind of sad to see that.
Oh yeah, you mean like the flashback or
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Egypt. I think it was
In
Egypt.
the Egypt temple, and the aliens come in. He's like an archaeologist.
yeah.
You know, those aliens look like something out of Doctor Who.
Yeah, they look super weird.
That's what
Yeah.
I was reminded
All
of.
bulky, like
They
not-
also reminded me a bit of the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah.
Because they had those heads and they would those big waddling
Big
bodies.
shoulders and
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I think about when I see that.
So Air Force One and then The Fifth Element were both a lot of fun. And to be honest, the cars in The Fifth Element, while you can kind of tell at points that it's it's older, sometimes it blends in actually pretty well. Like it still holds up.
Oh, you mean like the digital?
Yeah,
effects?
like cars.
Yeah. It's pretty decent. I thought
pretty
decent
good.
effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my whole favorite parts in that movie was when they're on that ship and those aliens just come in and start causing a problem.
At the opera at the big
Yeah, like the shootout around there. Okay.
yeah,
that was,
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
and the music for the ending too.
Yeah.
Like when it was playing, I kind of got very hooked that I wanted to stay in the room and listen to the whole thing.
Yeah. You mean like the credits?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very
And I love Lilu. Lilu's one of my
Lilu,
favorites.
yeah, she was really good in there.
I remember.
Did you know that her daughter? I don't know if you've seen Black Widow yet, but it's her daughter that plays the younger version of Scarlett
Really, Mila?
Johansson. Uh-huh.
Mila Jovovich? Oh, I was obsessed with Mila Jovovich for a while. I watched all her stuff. I would like rewatch Resident Evil movies.
I remember when she came on the scene, she was this young thing. She was a very young model, like 12 or something.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she was really young when she hit it. And I remember feeling a bit appalled at the fact that she was so highly sexualized at such a young age.
Yeah.
But she looked older than her age. She never looked as young as what she really was.
Yeah.
But it makes her appearance in Cuffs a little bit weird because I think at the time they filmed that, I might be wrong, but I think she was a legal minor. But she's playing a character that's supposed to be older because she looks older.
Yeah.
But she's playing somebody that's, in a relationship with this guy and she gets pregnant, and it was just kind of creepy to think that she was playing that part. But I guess she was always just kind of really mature for her age, maybe. I don't know. But,
now I feel weird. I never watched those movies. I just loved her her sci-fi action movies.
That's what she seems to stick to the most.
Yeah, Ultraviolet is a movie. People, it's bad, but I love it.
I saw it a couple of years ago, and it's kind of cool, like the action and stuff.
It's different. It's really
it's different, yeah.
And I really like it a lot.
Just looked it up. She was 16 in Cuffs.
Okay, so she was considered a minor, a legal minor. I couldn't remember if it was 15 or 16, but I thought for sure she was less than 18. And so it was just kind of a little weird.
Yeah, it might have been 15 because it was released in January.
At the time that they filmed it, maybe she was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the latest one latest video game movie, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Even though
I haven't seen that.
Easy. My dad had it. I borrowed it from him. I watched it a few times. Just because,
of course, your dad would have it.
He has all of them.
Right.
The library of films.
I didn't even know about it because I just don't pay attention to movies the way I used to. And back in the day, Mila was like my favorite actress, and Tony Jaa is one of my favorite action stars ever. And so to know they were in a movie together was so exciting. And I feel like, it's pretty sweet. It's not a great movie at all, but it's got good action and two of my favorite stars. So I really like it. But Tony Jaa, again, I gotta say, Ong Bak and the Protector, Tony Jaa. Okay, this is not 1997, but I go on about Tony Jaa. But Princess Mononoke, that is a great.
Yeah,
one.
I was responding. Getting ready to respond to that. I had never seen that.
Yeah, I saw that one. That one came out in 97.
I figured I was getting ready to say that you'd probably seen it.
You know,
probably Aurelia too.
What's crazy about that movie? So. Some of Studio Ghibli films are pretty, they're more for kids too, but that movie kind of went violent.
Yeah.
Like some decapitated scenes and arms getting cut off.
I really like Mononoke because from what I've seen of his movies, he's pretty amazing, but a lot of them are really just kind of confusing for me. And that one I feel like is the most direct, easy to follow. It has some parts that are a little.
Yeah, like spiritual stuff in nature and all that.
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah.
That's not the one with Christian Bale in it, is it?
No, I
That
think
that
that's
one's
Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Christian Bale's in that one. So number 6 is As Good as It Gets.
Which surprises me, to be honest. But I guess I can see why it made the top 10. I've seen that film multiple times, and I'm not into movies like that. But it was kind of like felt like a warm, fuzzy, cozy type of movie. If you guys have ever seen it.
No.
Is this in your top 4, Joe?
What's that, Simon?
Is this in your top 4, Joe?
Oh.
No.
No?
I didn't like it though.
You said they
like
were all human dramas, so I thought maybe this might have been
Oh,
it.
yeah, it is a kind of a human drama, but it's about this. It's kind of a down on her luck sort of waitress because she's got a kid that's sick all the time. And she can barely make ends meet because her kid's always sick. And Jack Nicholson plays this reclusive, almost hermity type, very antagonistic type of. He's like got OCD or something. He's very particular about stuff. He's hard to get along with. And then also Greg Kinnear plays, I think, one of his neighbors. I think he plays a gay guy who gets beaten up and I can't remember what the connection was that Jack Nicholson, maybe what was he taking care of his dog or something? I don't remember those specifics, but I remember that Jack Nicholson and the waitress lady end up forming like this romantic type of relationship. But it was a kind of a sweet. It was actually a sweet type of film, and I guess that's why.
He's a sorry.
No, go ahead.
He was like a prolific writer, and
writer.
He made a lot of money, and he got his agent. Helen Hunt couldn't get. She had like an HMO, medical plan, and couldn't get her son the help that he needed. And so Jack Nicholson. Okay, I don't want to tell the whole story, but she would come in every day he would come in every day to her diner,
her restaurant,
and he had to sit at this table. She had to serve him, and the one day her son got sick, she had to leave, so he flipped out. And the next day, he had contacted his agent, whose husband was a really good doctor, and he went to her house and like helped her son for free. And that's when Helen Hunt started noticing that, because she hated him. I mean, she hated him. He was a customer that came in every day, and he was an asshole.
Yeah, he was.
He was
she tolerated him, but she was not a fan.
Yeah. And so it was a big kind of turn when he did that for her, and then they started kind of getting together and all that. It's kind of like a coming of age for like multiple different people in the story. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s in it.
Oh, I forgot he was in there.
Yeah.
Good night, Brett.
Skeet Ulrich was in it.
I forgot he was in. Was he one of the ones that beat up Greg Kinnear?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Are you sure it's not your top 4?
No.
It was a fun film. I remember my husband liked it a lot. He would watch it too. I think it's the way Jack Nicholson plays the character, maybe, because he was so perfect in the role.
Yeah, a big deal was made about how much older he was than her at the time, and I don't know, maybe baby boomers liked it because he was dating such a younger lady or something. I don't know. It was kind of a big deal that they talked about the age difference.
I do remember that being talked about, and you can't help but notice it, obviously. But to me, something about it just, I mean, I guess I can't really imagine what their life would have been after it ends on this happy-ish note, right? But if you stop and think about it, I don't know how well things would ended up with them.
The funny thing is, I think in real life, Jack Nicholson dated even younger women than Helen Hunt.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt of that. I believe he did. Jack Nicholson was a playboy for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder what my favorite role of his would be. He did really well in The Shining, but He was also really good as Joker.
He's good in everything he's in for the most part. I can't think of anything he's in that he didn't do a good job at.
I've usually seen him play like really crazy villains. I've never really seen. I don't know if I've seen him in anything where he just plays a regular guy or a good guy.
He's played good characters, but he always plays complicated characters, from what I can recall.
Mm-hmm.
What's that movie? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a movie. I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but that's a interesting movie he did. He's pretty famous.
Yeah, I remember that was a movie that my mom and dad went to see in the theater, and they took me with them because they didn't have anyone to babysit me. And I was way too young because there was stuff in there I saw that really disturbed me.
For sure.
I never, it was just, it really, really bothered me. And I had these very vivid memories of scenes that happened in there. And you know how sometimes you think, oh, I remembered it wrong when you go and you watch it again. But when I saw it, those particular scenes that I had burned in my memory, nope, that was exactly how I remembered it. That's how impactful it was to me. And I didn't understand what was going on because I was so young, but it just really bothered me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, mental institutions are not good places.
No, well, especially the ending. I mean,
the ending's really sad.
You know what the Indian guy does and all that, and I didn't understand it. I was horrified by it. I understand it now, but it's still terribly sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, not my favorite movie. Very depressing.
Yeah. Anaconda was a fun movie. I like. I like monster movies, and that was monster.
I had that actually written down on my list of films to mention, so I'll take it off. But that was a fun. I remember watching that after I saw Selena.
Selena came out this year.
Yeah, it did. There's so many films, you guys.
Survival movies where people get killed off one by one. You start with a group of a dozen, and by the end, there's 3.
Like,
they always basically give away who the 2 final people are. They get all the screen time. So I really like when movies. It's rare when a movie can kind of do that and then not give away who's actually going to make it at the end. So you're really hooked the whole time. You don't just know the protagonist is going to say.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods kind of did that, I think.
That was that was a good.
That was a crazy. At the end, I just was laughing more than anything else because it's like, what the heck am I watching? It was so insane. It was so over the top.
That was real crazy. Yeah,
it was. It was.
So number 7 is Liar Liar.
That's good.
My favorite Jim Carrey movie.
It was good. I like it.
It's actually very good.
A little too much of the. I don't know. I don't want to be rude, but like the mushy stuff.
The mushy stuff, with his kid and
which is fine, but I prefer just I don't have time for that. You could have been telling me more jokes, like Dumber or whatever.
I think the reason that I like it is because it felt more true to life than something like Dumb and Dumber, and the way that he acted, like how he would just blurt out whatever was on his mind. And what made it so funny is because that's what a lot of people would really be thinking. They just are too polite to say. And he was saying it.
Well, I never thought of it this way, but I think they made Jim Carrey relatable. Before that, he was always the zany dude you're laughing at, but they kind of made it you can laugh with him. Because like you said, he was like, it was still ridiculous like Jim Carrey, but it was more like what normal people think.
It was a little bit toned down, but it just made him feel much more human and like a regular person. And it also showed his dramatic side, which a lot of people hadn't been introduced to yet.
Like I feel like the part at that final point where he realizes that the specific person he was helping was a boyach. Like you could just see like how he reacted.
Well, he knew that about her already.
Well, but then you see how awful she is, and then the whole thing with the kids and the dad.
Yeah, that scene just kills me every time. It's so freaking sad.
Like he really like showed like his other like side of his acting that was really good.
I like when he said, "I hold myself in contempt."
Yeah.
That was such a good line, though.
Yeah.
It was so sad. It was very
Mhm.
good.
When the cop pulls him over and he's like, "Change lanes while changing, while running the line, while
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Speeding. It's like, is that all? No, I have unpaid parking tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first, when I was seeing these clips when I was younger, I had no idea like what the whole
What was
point
going on?
Yeah, until when I decided to watch it, I was like, oh, so that's why he's doing all this stuff.
Yep. It's a great film. That is one of the few films with him in it that I could watch over and over.
What are you doing?
For
I'm
sure.
kicking my own
Kicking
ass.
my ass. You mind?
Yeah, I was almost gonna say the bathroom scene sticks out in my head.
Oh my goodness. The bloopers at the end are really funny too. Can you imagine? So that's where I get the line over actor, because in one of the bloopers, Swoozie Kurtz said that to him. And she was saying, and it caught Jim Carrey off guard, and he started laughing. Everybody was laughing, and she said something like, "He put me up to it," or "He made me do it." I don't know who she was talking about, but that's a word that I use now when I refer to somebody that overdoes it in their acting.
Nice.
Because that's kind of the way Jim Carrey is, but it works for a lot of people. Well, it's like Cartman when he adopted Tourette's. He spoke so openly, ended up when he adopted. I haven't seen that. I have not seen that. I wanted to mention, someone brought up The Postman. That's actually my brother Timothy, one of his favorite movies. He really, really loves that film, and I have never seen it.
Yeah, I feel
He's
like
been
maybe
trying to get me to watch it for a while.
I should maybe watch that. It's one I missed that I might like. I like post-apocalypse. And do you have multiple brothers? You always say your brother likes.
Oh, yeah, I have
2 brothers.
I have 2. I refer to them as my brother the artist and my brother the author.
Okay.
Oh, and speaking of my brother the author, this is a little bit exciting news. He told me I could say this. So he has a neighbor who works for Universal on the music side. And her mother is like a scout type person, like a talent agent, manager type of person.
A&R person, yeah.
Someone like that. So, okay, well, I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, so his neighbor sent her Timothy's books, his 2 published books. And the mother contacted her daughter and said, "This is your neighbor?" She said, "Yes, my neighbor, Tim. He's really, really good. I want to sign him."
Oh,
So
awesome.
he got signed.
That's awesome.
That was really exciting news.
That's real exciting.
I don't know that anything's going to come of it, but I told Timothy, I said, if you're actually going to, continue to do stuff like this, I will give you my novel, because I wrote a book. I just haven't published it.
Cool.
I will give it to you to spiff it up and make it so much better.
Cool.
You can have it.
And maybe
awesome.
he could give my story to that person too.
Anyway, that was a little bit of a sideline. Sorry about that, y'all.
That's awesome.
I just felt like that was
That's
exciting.
motivating. I need to start writing. I'm ready to start writing again. So that's
there you go, because you've been talking about it for a while.
Now it's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Number 8 is My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh yeah, Julia Roberts, rom-com.
Yeah, never saw that.
Simon's number 1.
I didn't like her character in there. Because her whole goal was to try to break up her friend and his fiance. And so she was kind of I don't know. I mean,
her character was a bitch, basically.
Well, her character is just, it's like once her best friend got taken by somebody, then she all of a sudden wanted him as a romantic interest. And so she spends all her time trying to I think it was Cameron Diaz that played as the girlfriend. Yeah. So I don't know,
it's kind of like how a kid sees another kid with something and they really want that thing that the other kid has.
Exactly.
That was Julia Roberts, right?
Yeah, Julia Roberts and Durham.
Dermot
Dermot
Mulroney.
Mulroney. Yeah, he played in Young Guns. He's the one who said, "You see the size of that chicken?"
Chicken.
That's him in Young
Yeah,
Guns.
see the size of that cockadoodle. God
That's
damn.
the best scene in Young Guns. That scene where they all got high.
My son wanted to wave and say hi.
Oh, hi! Hi!
Hello.
What's
How's
your
it going?
name?
Karen.
Hey, Cameron.
Karen?
Karen?
Cameron?
Cameron?
Cameron. Okay, couldn't hear him good. Hi, Cameron.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Has he seen any of the movies from 1997?
Liar, liar, a little bit
Ah,
with Jim Carrey, but he probably won't remember it.
gotta think. He looks like he's trying to think about that. It's like, okay, I'm out here.
He watches a lot of YouTube streamers and stuff, so I told him I was doing streaming on YouTube. So
Oh,
he
okay. So
thinks
then he's
I'm
interested.
famous now.
He could join in on the conversation.
My niece does that too. A lot of streamers. I'm like, kids,
Mhm.
like, I was all this stuff I wanted to share with you. Now you don't care about it.
Oh.
So number 9 is obviously The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah.
We've already
Yeah.
talked about, but I still gotta come back and say that actor really talented.
Gary Oldman.
Gary
Like,
Oldman.
Really, he is like.
You know, it
one of the
just
best.
I gotta say it again, but the fact that twice he opens the box and there's nothing in there.
The second time was the funniest because he kind of
He's
starts
like, he's
laughing a
laughing.
little bit, and you think
And
that
then-
he found what he's looking for, and then the laughter turns into crying.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not in here.
Yeah.
So funny. Okay, and then of course number 10 is exactly the one that's mentioned here, the Full Monty.
Full Monty.
Which-
I saw that one.
I've never seen that either. But is it about guys that like become strippers or something?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I never saw that. But it made top 10.
It's not like what was that more recent one?
Magic
Matthew
Mike.
McConaughey.
Magic Mike. Yeah, it's
Magic Mike.
it's a very British movie. It's about unemployed steelworkers
Mm-hmm.
who become Chippendales, basically.
Oh my gosh.
To can't actually remember whether it was to make money or just because they wanted to feel positive about their bodies or whatever. Probably a bit of both.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a sensation over here in the UK.
Well, it made a splash over here too because I've heard about it.
Mhm.
And I the fact that I knew what it was about, but I
Yeah,
can't. I don't.
It was a popular film here. I just didn't see it, but a lot of people
Same.
did.
Yep.
Yeah, it was big.
The special edition of Star Wars came out this year with
Mhm.
the CG stuff.
Yeah. I think all 3 of them, 4, 5, and 6, right?
Yeah. It actually
Yeah.
came out the very beginning of the year in January.
I think they released it at different months too, though. I thought because I was seeing it
here
pop up.
it says 31st of January.
Yeah, but then the Empire Strikes Back came out in February, and
Yeah, they're
Oh,
basically
yeah.
by a few months.
Return of the Jedi was in March.
Yeah, that's when he
So-
was starting to go back and add some stuff to it, just to make it more, sci-fi-ish.
I wonder if the prequels had been announced by then. I want to say
I-
probably. This was 97, and the
Probably.
first movie came out in 99.
Yeah.
So most likely that might be why he did this too, to generate
Yeah.
excitement.
Probably.
Prequels.
Has anyone,
Does anyone have
heard
any
of-
thoughts on filmmakers revisiting their movies and changing them? Because Star Wars is in the what's it called? It's the Library of Congress National Film Archive, I think it's called.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
so it's
originals.
Indian.
But now the only things that are available are the rework special editions.
That's a good point. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, that's kind of messed up.
I thought they
I-
re-released them like the way they were, like for Blu-ray or something.
Like
No,
the
they've never done
originals?
that.
They have not.
Never. And we will never see them again. Because George Lucas wants to continually
Bury
improve.
bury them, wants to forget that they exist. Well, I personally don't mind it if I feel like it advances or makes it better. And the reason why I don't mind it is because to me it makes the transition between the prequels and the originals a little bit more seamless, so it doesn't bother me too much.
I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, to me, I looked at a little bit of like how it looked back then to how he went back and fixed it. To me, I did feel like when he went back and added all this just to make it feel more like a very sci-fi movie. I felt like it looked better than how I saw it, like when I saw the 77 version. The 77 version looks, no offense to those that like it, but
it looks a little bare bones compared to.
It looked bland to me. But when he went back and added, all the futuristic stuff, I felt like it made it more massive.
Yeah, but shouldn't it stay that way? Shouldn't it be of its time?
He didn't really add that much, though. I mean, I remember the before and after pretty well, and it wasn't that much of it. I think more of the difference was just the polishing of the, digital, whatever, high def. Because
he added a really bad Jabba the Hutt to.
The 97 version.
He's had multiple additions, I thought.
Yeah, and I saw he's redone the Jabba. I haven't paid enough attention, but I saw it recently. Like, he did another redo of the Jabba where it doesn't look terrible now.
No, he did another one, huh?
It looks so bad.
I haven't
seen
that.
Well, the 97 version didn't look great. The 2004 version actually was better.
I don't know. I think whoever owns it can do what they want. It's not like the people own it. But if it's registered for the Library of Congress, then it should be accessible in that form.
It feels like,
like that seems disingenuous to be like, this is the movie we recognize, and then it could be a quarter different. Like,
I do think people should have the right to get that version if they want that version,
Yeah.
I mean, I get the arguments for and against, but so Terminator 2, I feel like when they re-released it in 2017, they made digital fixes to it that I thought improved it. And like putting Arnold's face on the stunt driver's face when he jumps off the wall, or removing Arnold's sleeved arm, things like that I felt just were a big improvement. Not a humongous, because it doesn't change how I feel about the movie, but it took these little glitchy parts of T2 and kind of smoothed them out and made them better. So I prefer that, but I get why some people aren't thrilled with what's been done to the originals.
Oh yeah, they really bashed George Lucas for that.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They changed Han's character as well.
They did.
Han shot first.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
That's probably my one issue with the change.
I don't think you should have done that personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's why the Library of Congress thing is because that is it's one little thing that changes a lot. And it's so that kind of thing, you shouldn't recognize, because in terms of whoever owns it and is just trying to make money off of entertainment, I always look at it is it entertainment or art? Because people can decide it's art, but the people who made it can decide it's entertainment. Like, who owns it and what do they think? So if the people who own it look at it as an entertainment property and they own it, they can do what they want. But then if Library of Congress is recognizing it as art, it's like two different perspectives of what it is.
Well, it's why? I wonder why he did that. I wonder if he was trying to make Han less of a bad boy type.
To me, I heard that apparently he said people didn't fully see the picture of when it I guess maybe the way the editing was done. I guess he was always meant to not shoot first. I guess, but who knows? That's probably why he did what he did. But I don't know. To me,
maybe to make it more clear if that was his intent.
That's what I'm thinking. But to me, I felt like Han shooting first adds more depth to his character.
Well, it shows you. Yeah, exactly. It shows you that. Oh well.
Has anybody heard of the second Civil War? It was an HBO movie. Oh, it's a
No.
comedy. It's a
Oh
comedy.
no, I was like, no. And I saw the Jackal. The Jackal was one that I wrote in my list of honorable mentions, along with about 50,000 others. But I saw that movie only once, but I remember that I enjoyed it.
Me too.
Quite a bit. But I forgot that Sidney Poitier was in it. I just remember Richard Gere and Bruce Willis. That was a good film.
Oh, The Devil's Own.
I think we talked about that a little bit last time.
That
We talked about Brad Pitt having a terrible accent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, and I remember watching it and not like feeling like there wasn't great chemistry between the two. That movie really didn't do much of anything for me. Like it felt so meh to me for some reason.
Meh.
Felt meh.
Oh, Volcano. Is that movie?
That was
Mouse
Tommy
Hunt.
Lee
Was that
Jones?
Nathan Lane? I think that was Nathan Lane and someone else.
Mouse Hunt.
Tommy Lee Jones, yeah.
I think we're talking about two different movies. I think Colin's referring to Mouse Hunt.
With Nathan
Yeah,
Lane.
I think Nathan Lane was in that.
Nathan Lane, I like Nathan Lane.
And
Shout out to Only Murders in the
Don't know about-
Building on Hulu.
oh, is he in that?
Yeah, he's in that.
Okay, I've heard about that. That actually sounds pretty good. I just haven't watched it yet.
I really like it.
Looks funny. Yes, Arturo, Tommy Lee Jones, and I can't remember the girl's name in Volcano, which is funny because it almost felt like, so that was the second Volcano movie from
Yeah, Dante's
1997.
Peak. and
Dante's
Volcano.
Peak. Yeah, and I feel like Dante's Peak probably was more popular.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
so.
I
I
think
like
it was more
Volcano
fun.
better though because it was more weird.
More weird in what way? Because I only saw it
Well,
once.
The volcano came up in the middle of Los Angeles.
In the middle of the ocean, right? In ocean. In the
Instead
middle of
of,
the city. Yeah.
It's a
Didn't
normal
I see-
volcano.
Didn't I see bits of that?
I don't know.
What?
Maybe.
I thought it had the girl that played in the Terminator movie.
Okay, you're thinking Dante's Peak. That's the other volcano movie.
That one.
That Dante's Peak is the one where that guy from True Lies was
True.
in it. And he's the one that when he got the coffee, he's very excited about the coffee. And I never forgot that scene because that's exactly how I feel about coffee. It was like they bring him coffee and he's like, oh, coffee. Like, yes, I totally agree.
I'm gonna have to take a break.
Coffee.
Also, I'm representing my favorite movie of the year. It's my shirt. Walter Kochak. I'm staying. I'm finishing my coffee.
What movie was that?
That's Big Lebowski.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't seen that film.
Oh,
Was that 97?
I thought that was 98.
Yeah, I thought it was 98.
then I think I messed up. I'll be
You
wearing
have
this
to
next
wear the
time.
shirt next time.
Take it off.
I
Take
looked
it
at
off.
that list.
Yeah, you gotta go change your shirt now. Doesn't
I was
count.
all ready to go.
We're
on and on.
almost there, though. We're almost there to 98.
All right.
Yes,
Got another year
97
to go.
was a really good year for movies. I was quite surprised
Yeah.
at how many films were on here that I enjoyed enough to write down to talk about. Really, this is one of
Yeah.
those years for me.
It is. There's
Actually,
a lot
did
I
it?
haven't mentioned yet because we've had plenty to talk about. But there's
Mhm.
at least
Did it?
5 or 10 I could rattle on about right now.
Oh, I've got probably 20 or 30 in my list. It's ridiculous because I'll just mention a few. So, Arturo, there's another one you watched that we forgot about.
Okay, what was it?
LA Confidential.
Yeah, there
Yes,
you go.
that one too.
You've
I
seen
saw
a
that one.
ton of 97 films.
That's one
Wow,
of the
he
better
has.
movies too. I
Yeah, probably like 8 or 9.
Yeah, speaking
now, I
of
think.
LA Confidential, yeah, that was a really good. Like, I know it didn't have a lot of action, but goodness, I thought it was
It was
well
tense.
done. Just pacing
Yeah, it was
and the whole thing with at least the decent cop trying to, you know, do the right thing. Like if
Yeah.
I was in his shoes, that would be me trying to do the right thing in the inside. But you know, there's like a bit of that corruption inside the LAPD.
Yeah, it was like so much dirtiness going on. And I remember, so Kevin Spacey, like mid 90s was a big time for Kevin Spacey. And I remember seeing him in here, and I remember the scene with the dude from Babe. And I remember, I never forgot that because that shocked me so much. I was not expecting that twist that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never, I was like, okay, well, so now the whole time I'm watching it, I know. But it was really jarring.
I mean,
and
the guy that played in Babe, like, what happened? He was just in a field in a farm place, and I guess he just decided to be a corrupt detective.
Well, now you're giving away some stuff, Artur. I'm trying to be vague for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Spoilers.
I know it's bad. It's been a long time ago. Whatever. But yeah, it was pretty good. There was a lot of complex stuff going on.
Oh yeah, but I kind of got the gist. See, to be honest, I got more of the gist with that than Jackie
Brown.
Jackie Brown was a bit confusing for me.
I think because in LA Confidential, a lot of times when they would refer to something or someone that had been referred to before, and let's say maybe you didn't have a lot of exposure to them, they would show a really quick flashbacky type of scene with that person to, oh yeah, that's that guy. And so you were able to connect the names to the person a little bit more easily. And Jackie Brown, they were throwing off names and this and that and this and that. And so you really had to kind of follow along closely with what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Jackie Brown's a lot slower paced too, which takes you out of it. You kind of really got to focus on the conversation.
I had forgotten how slower paced it was.
It's probably as slow as
Yeah, it is pretty slow. I remember watching it multiple times and liking it, but then when we were watching it last night, I was like, wow, this really doesn't have a lot of. It almost felt like more of a character drama type of thing than anything else.
Yeah.
I just thought the funny arguments with Samuel Jackson and the girl. I mean, those were funny.
Yeah, he was the best. De Niro was almost
every time Samuel Jackson raises his voice.
Yeah.
It goes up about 10 octaves.
Yeah, you can't. It's almost like you can't take him seriously, you know. And then when he gets hurt and he screams, that's also for some reason kind of funny. It's the way he's screaming. I don't know.
I love Samuel Jackson.
But yeah, LA Confidential is really good. And what was the guy's name? Was it Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce.
Yeah. So that's funny. So the good cop, he's kind of like the brains, while Russell Crowe's character is like the.
He's like the hothead brawn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they team up at the end.
I did like that ending fight.
That movie just somehow, to me, something about the movie seems like it's just it's really professional. Like it's almost perfect in that it's kind of simple, but I feel like it's doing what so many movies try to do. It just does it almost flawlessly, which is just a crime story. Good guys and cops and robbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just so it feels really professional. I don't know the word for it, but it's really well done.
Oh, that one scene with Kevin Spacey and the main guy, the good guy, or the good cop. I mean, you know, when they go to that bar and they think that girl was.
Oh yeah, he thought that this girl. He thought that she was one of the plastic surgery actress lookalikes, and he was calling her like a whore and everything, and it ended up being the real actress. That was so funny.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's supposed to be Veronica Lake or some other actress, but he was being really crude with her, and then you find out she wasn't the fake one; she was actually the real one. That was funny.
It also did remind. I wonder whether or not L.A. Noire, the video game, took some inspiration from the movie.
I was always reminded of LA Confidential when you were playing LA Noire.
Because I know there's a point when you go to the Vice, when your character goes to the Vice department, there's some corruption in that department because of the drugs.
Mm.
Well, I don't know. I think I probably did, surely, because that's such a good example of that LA Noire type story in recent times. But I feel like that's what I was trying to say too. I feel like that kind of movie got made a lot back in the day. You know, black and white versions of that, simple versions of that. And that's what I like. This feel even though it's 20 whatever years old now, it felt like such a modern, well done version of that.
Oh yeah, it's still, to me, it holds up.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I always keep mentioning this, but I feel like they just don't make them like they used to.
They don't make them like they used to.
Number
The
Right.
one thing I didn't like about LA Confidential is that they never made a trip to Toontown to visit Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
And I think that was
shame on them.
Oh man.
then Stephen King's The Shining had a television movie, I think.
Yeah, I think that was like his attempt to make the movie the way he wanted it, because I heard I've never seen that version, but I heard it was terrible.
Oh.
But I've also heard he didn't like the
I
one
think
that
it was-
Stanley Kubrick
I
made.
guess it was like closer to his book or something,
Yeah.
from what I heard, but I didn't like it at all.
Oh wow! Did you read the book?
No, but I mean, I love the Kubrick Shining, the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if it's like people say, well, it was nothing like the book. I don't care. Like, it was still a good,
I don't care. I still liked it.
yeah, like it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I kind
Never
of
read
get. I guess I kind of get where you're sort of coming from, because, like, would you really want someone to kind of take your idea and kind of go in a different direction? I guess. I don't know.
Well, he sold the rights to it, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was.
That's the
gonna
ropes.
say.
If you sell the rights, you can't get upset. I mean, you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair point.
And he just made the Doctor Sleep, didn't he? And it basically is more in line with Kubrick's
The
Shining.
movie. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I guess
I
he
like
realized
that
that the way the other Shining went was, I guess, way better.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, yeah,
well, I mean,
I
it's a
don't
different medium. You have to adapt it at
Mhm.
least partially. Plus,
I-
Stephen King made Maximum Overdrive, so can't really listen to him about
Right.
movies.
I know, right? That's right. He did.
So then there's also Con Air that I really
I
liked.
really like
That was
I
a
like
fun
Con Air.
ride.
one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies. I feel like with The Rock and Con Air, he had a real nice back-to-back action
Yeah.
movie punch that, to me, was the peak Nicolas Cage. Was Rock, Con Air. He's never been that good as
Con
those.
Air was fun. I
Yeah, that was
forgot that how kind of comedic it was. The scene
Yeah.
where John Malkovich is holding the bunny hostage and
Yeah,
threatening to shoot
Why?
That's
Or yeah,
so-
or even like the
That's
first.
so funny. That
Yeah.
made me laugh so hard when we watched it. I was like, I can't remember the first part, but like, do or don't do such and such, or
If
the
you-
bunny gets it and he's
or the
holding the
bunny
gun
gives the, yeah.
to the stuffed animal.
That actor is
so
pretty
great.
good.
Yeah, I like him.
But even the beginning point, like where he's underneath the plane, and he fights that one guy. He's like, "Why didn't you
You
just
put the bunny back in the box.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I always felt like the premise for why he got put in jail was ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I never bought into that, because it
Yeah.
was self-defense, and I always thought that was ridiculous. Well, you're
Well,
a military person. You're like a weapon, a human
Yeah.
weapon. Oh, come on. He was still defending himself. It doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
thought that
And
was kind of
I think that's just a cheap plot trick to get a
Yeah.
good guy in a prison, bad guy playing.
yeah.
If it were me, I would have
Yeah.
tried to write around that or something. Like maybe,
But yeah, it's pretty easy way out. To,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Seemed
couldn't you
lame
maybe
to me.
probably made it to where he really just went at it and he didn't stop. Like,
he had a
punching the guy
bad
to the point
moment.
where
Yeah.
he killed him.
Yeah. Lost
you could-
control, went overboard.
Yeah, like he could have done. They could have done it that way.
Yeah. But then you would not like his
Wouldn't like
character
him as
so
much.
much. Yeah.
Or maybe if they made it to
So-
where they were about ready to do something to his wife and he loses it.
But even still, self-defense. He's protecting a loved one. I mean, I just feel like they could have come up with a better reason
Better way. Yeah.
for him to be in jail than what
Oh.
they did.
So
Like he's a Hollywood actor or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Speed 2. Come
Oh,
out.
that's we don't talk about Speed 2.
Yeah.
That
That
was so
doesn't
funny.
exist. That doesn't
Wait, there was a
exist.
Speed 2? Hmm.
Yes, we don't talk about Speed
That's
2.
one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It's yeah.
It's funny. Fun of
I walked out of the theater.
yeah.
You said you walked out of it before it was over?
Yeah. Me and my
Wow.
friend went to see it, and we were like, this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It was bad. It shouldn't have happened. I guess they were trying to capitalize on the popularity of of the first Speed. You know what's funny? There's this funny story that I always associate with Speed 2. So long time ago, back around this time,
A galaxy far, far
and
away.
a galaxy far, far away, back when I was quite a bit younger, I used to listen to Dr. Laura on the radio, and someone calls her up, and they said, I'm in this situation where, so like my husband or whatever has worked on this movie, and we're having this party after, like we're having this party to celebrate, I guess, the movie's completion or whatever. And she said, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to invite but so many people, and how do I deal with this situation of all these people wanting to come, right? So Dr. Laura was telling her, well, this is what you do. You do this and this and this and this, and then you just, blah, 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 whatever her advice was. I don't remember. But then she asked the lady, what movie is it? And the lady said, well, it's Speed 2. And Dr. Laura was like, oh, really? Can I come? And she was serious. She wanted to be invited to the very same party that she was trying to help the lady get out of inviting more people to. And so then later, I think later when they came back from commercial break, she was like, no, actually, I'm not going to. She's decided she has too many guests already. And I'm like, yeah, well, you completely didn't even think about what you were doing in that moment. So that's what I always think about when I think about Speed 2. Probably the most exciting thing about Speed 2.
I got one good story.
Right.
Then there is also Face Off, which is another Nicolas Cage movie.
I like that movie.
Yeah, that movie was good.
That was really good.
I thought I liked that, and then I like Opie and Anthony and Patrice O'Neal on Opie and Anthony. I know.
Do they talk about it?
And there's a bit on the Opie and Anthony show, and they've edited it out so you can just find the 10 or 10-minute bit where Patrice is going on about how he loves Face Off, and then Jim Norton starts telling him how dumb it is, and then Patrice realizes he's been fooled in a terrible movie.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, so I think of that a lot. I mean, it did have good action movie. It was a good action, but it was kind of ridiculous.
Colin,
go ahead, Joe. No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, have you heard Jim Norton tell his story about being randomly seated next to Nick Cage on a plane?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Good.
It's hilarious. It's like I don't know. It's on YouTube. It's like a 20-minute story. He randomly is seated next to Nick Cage, and he tells a story about how he's spending the whole trip basically trying to become Nick Cage's friend, because Jim Norton is like an F-list celebrity, and so
he's pictures with celebrities. Yeah,
he's telling him, 30 minutes in, I told him I was doing a comedy special, and did he have advice on lighting or really just the type of questions he was concocting to try to start some sort of conversation. And every time he asks him, Nick Cage just cuts him off, and he doesn't want to talk. It's hilarious. I mean, I don't think Jim Norton's real super funny guy, but the way he tells the story, you can visualize the whole thing. And it's just really cringy and awkward how he's trying to. It's like a 5-hour flight, and he's like, by the end of this flight, I'm going to crack this guy. We're going to become friends. Nice. I need him to know that I'm in Hollywood too, and all this.
They never became friends, huh?
No.
Nick Cage probably hated him by the time that flight was over.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. I got that typed in YouTube.
Yeah, I don't want to tell too many of the stuff because I want you to hear it.
That'd be good.
But it's a funny story.
Cool.
Because it was on that show, I think. That
on
he
the
told
Opie show?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. He was a co-host, kind of, so.
Yeah. You'll like it.
Cool. Yes, Double Team is the name of that movie, Sashi. I just looked that up, and I think I actually watched that, but only once, so I don't remember a whole lot about it.
I'm going to get some coffee. I'll be right back.
All right.
Coffee.
Okay, so in '97, a movie that I did a reaction to a while back, Event Horizon, that came out.
Event Horizon, I've heard about that.
Yeah, well, you hear about that mentioned in sci-fi stuff, not just that's also the name of the movie, but it's also in sci-fi. It's like a term that's used in sci-fi a lot.
It's a term that's used in physics.
Physics, okay. So that's why it's in sci-fi.
Another Disney actually had a movie this year, Hercules.
Oh, was that when Hercules came? Oh my goodness, that old.
I have never seen that movie.
James Woods plays Hades. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
And he was, my goodness, I'm sorry, but Scooter has been Scooter's been doing nothing but fart ever since he's been. I'm sorry, Scooter has the stinkiest farts ever. Maybe it's the medicines, but it's the whole room. He's just like fumigating the whole room. Scooter, oh, poor Scooter. Okay, I'm just getting really distracted because that's all I can smell right
Actually,
now.
how is he doing right now?
He's lying down sleeping, and it's hot because I don't have the AC on, so I'm surprised he's still in here. But he's doing okay. So Event Horizon. I was just trying to list some more. Have any of you guys seen The Man Who Knew Too Little?
I've heard of that.
Really? Bill Murray? He's like becomes mistaken for. I think the premise is he becomes mistaken for like some spy or something.
I thought I've heard of the title. I don't think I've seen it.
I think Matt and Tim like that movie quite a bit. They've seen that. I'm gonna mark that off. We talked about Air Force
Didn't that
One.
movie with Bill Murray and the elephant come out this year?
Larger Than Life.
Yeah. I remember seeing bits of that. I remember the part.
No, that's not coming up. That was That was one of the first things I saw Matthew McConaughey in, and he was hilarious in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Larger Than Life.
When did it come out though? The next year?
Let me look.
Because I remember watching sort of the heck out of that thing, except for the
it came out the year you were born. Came out the previous year. We never talked about it.
We never talked. Yeah, we never did.
Nope, we never did.
Too late.
Well, too late now. Gotta move on.
Okay. Has anyone heard of 187?
What's that?
187.
No.
It looks like it's got Samuel Jackson.
Oh. What?
It's some thriller.
Killing Corpse, I guess.
Oh. I don't know.
I've heard of it. I remember the poster. I just can't remember the plot.
It's a crime drama.
I don't know if I ever saw that. Who else is in it? Is that Edward Norton?
John Hurd, Kelly Rowan, Clifton Collins Jr., Tony Plana.
I don't think I've ever seen this film. It was the first top billed starring role for him. Interesting. Also, Starship Troopers came out in 97.
Yeah, that was a fantastic movie.
Now I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
No,
you're being serious. Okay.
Completely genuine. It was just very misunderstood.
Okay. So what was misunderstood about it?
That it was a criticism of the allure of fascism. But people took it at face value.
Okay. So it was a criticism. It was really a criticism of the allure, or people thought that's what it was and it wasn't?
No, when it came out, people took it at face value. I thought it was just a dumb sci-fi
big
action
bugs.
movie with really bad acting and big bugs. But it's a criticism of we cheer for the heroes in Starship Troopers.
Right.
And it's a criticism. It's shown the allure of fascism. Verhoeven grew up in occupied Holland. Yeah. I can't remember whether it's called Holland or the Netherlands or Dutch. Or
yeah, it's Holland.
But he that's how he grew up, and sort of there's a theme with that through all his movies, like Black Book and everything.
So it's like a metaphor.
It's not even a metaphor. It's really explicit once you know what to look for.
Interesting. I remember liking it, but I took it at face value.
Yeah.
It was a sci-fi film, and I enjoyed it. And it feels like it's got this pretty big cult type following. A lot of people really love it, but I didn't realize it had a deeper meaning. I remember him in Spawn. He was nasty. I didn't realize it had the deeper meaning to it.
Well, if you can remember Doogie Howser's character.
I've only seen
Dressed
it
as a
once.
Nazi? No? Okay.
I don't even remember him. I just remember Casper, the main guy, and Denise Richards.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. And I just remember it had something to do with bugs, and it was fun.
Do you remember
They all showered
Service-
together, right?
Service Guarantee Citizenship?
No.
No? It's a completely militarized society, and they're attacking the bugs because they want to colonize a certain place, but there are
Okay.
bugs in the way, so they have to stamp them out.
Oh, okay. I should rewatch that one. Yeah, that's it. He's explaining the deeper meaning of Starship Troopers, which I didn't know about.
That was one I was waiting to bring up. That's probably it is in my top 3. I really like that one. Yeah, that was one that my parents wouldn't let me see it because it was R-rated. And I remember being in a theater, we had gone to see something else, and I snuck out and was like watching. I snuck into Starship Troopers to watch part of it. And
you naughty boy.
Bad boy.
It was one that lived up to what I was hoping for. It was just action-packed and violent and cool, and I still love that. I love that it's kind of weird, how it's like fascist, kind of. The society is kind of weird and fascist, and it's
Where
weird.
you live, man?
Yeah, like really. Yeah.
Anybody heard of Air Bud? I actually remember watching.
Oh,
that.
that's the dog, right?
Yeah.
The dog that
I
plays
remember that.
basketball.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Did I cut off Simon? Was Simon done talking about?
Yeah, it was done.
Okay.
I remember. I cried.
Everybody.
When the guy took the dog.
I remember you used to cry when you would see that.
It was, I think, one time when I saw that happen where the guy takes the dog and the kid, you know.
I don't remember much
It's the
about
dog
movie.
that plays basketball.
Yeah, I knew that much, but I don't remember a lot of the details about it.
Yes, I cried. There
When you
go.
were just a little kid, so
Yeah.
and it's nothing wrong with crying.
Oh yeah, Spawn also came out.
Yeah, people were talking about Spawn. A lot of people hated it. I didn't mind it. I felt like the anime was better.
Yeah,
The
I
anime
felt
version?
The movie just was lacking somehow. I don't know how to describe it.
Are you serious, Jeff?
Oh my God, Jeff.
Okay, I mean,
Crazy.
Oh,
Oh man, 97
the
was
dinosaurs, the Ice Age.
Clooney being in terrible sequels.
Oh,
Speed
my
2
goodness.
and Batman and Robin. And he went on to become like the biggest star in Hollywood.
Clooney was in Speed 2?
He had to pay his dues. He replaced Keanu.
That was Jason Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Then I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just like, wow, I
Does he
totally
look like
forgot he was.
Clooney? I'm off base. Sorry, I'm off base.
Yeah, I only knew it was Jason Patrick just because I know who Jason Patrick is from Lost Boys. Otherwise, I would have not known.
Oh, has
Okay.
anybody heard of G.I. Jane?
Was that
Oh.
97?
I
Yeah.
never saw it with Demi Moore.
Demi Moore, yeah.
Yeah. I remember Derek really liked that movie. I've never seen it, but I remember it, getting attention, getting noticed when it came out. But I also remember people criticizing the title because it had nothing to do with the branch that she went in. So, like, was she going in the Navy SEALs? But GI Joe is an Army term or something. I remember like there was this. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we got.
Is it related to G.I. Joe or no? Because
I just called her GI Jane because she's a girl. She was a girl. I never watched it.
I saw
was never really
when that
interested.
was on television one time.
She got in real good shape and was,
Mhm.
doing pull-ups and all that. I remember
Yeah.
that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and she shaved her head and everything for the part, and then I remember that got people's attention. But yeah, I never checked it out. In fact, I completely forgot that was 97. And there's a film in 97 that I thought was really good, and it showed Sylvester Stallone's acting talent, and that was Copland. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I don't think
That
I
was
did.
actually-
I know what you're talking about, though.
Oh, it's actually really good.
It is.
It's really, yeah.
Okay.
Although for years I got it mixed up with that Kevin Smith movie. It was terrible. Cop something.
Was that also 97?
Cop Out with Tracy Morgan.
Cop Out, yeah. That's the one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Copland was very well done. Very well done film. He's I don't know if you know the premise, Colin, but I think he's partially deaf, and he seems like he's a little slow.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Simon, but wasn't he a little kind of slow? And was it because of the accident that made him partially deaf, or was he just always like that?
It's been a long time since I've seen it. I'm not even sure if he was slow or whether it was just that he was deaf and he had he didn't really interact the same way we would.
Yeah, right. Maybe that was what it was. But and again, he was a cop, and the cops or the people around him in charge were corrupt or something like that.
It was like
he
a cop retirement sort of.
Yeah, it was good. I think you'd probably like it, Colin.
Yeah,
I think it's one of his better films, honestly.
Has anybody here heard of Starship Troopers?
That's what we were talking about. That's what that's what Simon was talking about it being kind of like symbolism of or critique of the love of fascism. Yeah.
Okay.
So we talked about.
Oh wait.
Gattaca?
What's that?
Did anyone like Gattaca?
I actually wrote that down.
I
did like that. It was different. It feels kind of cold, so I never really connected completely to it. But the actual story, when I was watching it, I've seen it twice. I enjoyed it. Is that in your top 3?
No.
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 Anastasia, the animated cartoon movie.
I wrote that down too.
I only saw bits of that on Cartoon Network one time. I never really watched that movie.
It's good. It's not.
And
it was never like one of my favorite Disney animated films, but it was enjoyable.
She had like red hair. I don't know if she really did have red hair.
The real Anastasia? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
hold
had
on.
Rasputin in it, I think.
Yeah, it did have Rasputin. He was the villain, like he is in the next King's Man.
Was he really a bad guy?
I don't know. He was strange.
He looked bad, but was he really a bad guy?
We need a new version of Robocop. We did get a new version of Robocop, and some people didn't like it. The one with Joel Kinnaman in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was fun, but I like Joel Kinnaman, so maybe that's why. Lots of Russians. Okay, well.
Okay. I
wrote down The Peacemaker. Actually, I've seen that movie once, and I enjoyed it.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I know. I almost wrote that down, but I never saw it.
It was a bad sequel, I heard.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah.
Didn't your brothers go see those movies?
I don't remember if they saw. No, I don't think so. Because 97, I don't think so.
They were all about Mortal Kombat back then.
I know, but I don't think they went to the big screen until The Matrix came out. That was 99.
Oh, Alien Resurrection.
Oh, was that 97?
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as the first 3. I remember when I saw it, I was kind of disappointed, but I felt like that's because you compare it to the first ones, and the first 2 Aliens are kind of the standard for horror sci-fi. And so it doesn't live up to that, but most movies don't. So I think it is better than the average horror sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Because it's got the Aliens title, you kind of expect even more, but it's not bad. I think it's decent production value. I think also the ending was kind of cheesy with like the human-looking alien. When a movie has kind of a bad ending, it like makes the whole movie seem bad. I remember not liking it and then rewatching it and being like, it's not so bad. It's all right.
That's not the one with Winona Ryder in it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That is the one. Okay.
Ron Perlman.
Oh,
yeah.
Ron Perlman. Okay.
The
I saw
French
that.
ruin everything.
Yeah.
Directed by a French guy. It was written by Joss Whedon. And I
Oh, really?
despised it because the characters are complete analogs for Buffy characters.
Oh.
Really? I didn't notice that.
I didn't realize he wrote that.
I mean, either.
Which one was this?
Makes me
Alien
think it's not
Resurrection.
as good.
Alien Resurrection.
I like the production value though. It's pretty solid.
2 other sequels actually came out: Home Alone 3 and Scream 2.
Yeah, I had written down Scream 2. That is the one. I think that's the first time I saw Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him now.
But I didn't realize who he was. Like I didn't. That's the first time I saw him. But that's not the first time I paid attention to him as an actor. I first paid attention to him as an actor in Deadwood.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I was like, oh, he was in Scream 2? I completely didn't realize that was him. He was so young.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's like.
Oh, I love him.
Every time I see him in a movie.
Yeah, so good. I love Deadwood. Deadwood is.
Did he
One
buy
of the-
17 shots or 16 shots?
What
Yeah,
are you
that
quoting?
commercial. That commercial about Justified.
Oh yeah, Justified.
I
was a
gotta
good
ask
show.
yourself the same question. Do I feel lucky?
Sin, have you ever seen The Crazies?
Yes, I have, and
Yeah,
I
that was
like
the first
that.
time. That was the first time I noticed Timothy Olyphant.
Okay, well, see, the reason that I was interested to see it was because I knew who he was by then, because I'd been watching Deadwood, and also, I can't remember if Justified came out at that time, and so I was interested in The Crazies. I didn't realize it was a remake of something from back in the 70s. Did you see the original?
I did not. I just came home and it was on TV, and I decided to watch it.
It's pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
It's scary, but I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think it's better than the
Justified-
original.
The Crazies and Justified came out the same year.
Okay, then it's because of Deadwood and Justified, probably. Unless it came, because I knew by then he was on my radar and I liked him, and so I was interested.
I am going to say that we are jumping into the 2010s. We're not there yet.
I know. Let's look at us.
All right, we haven't mentioned one of the biggest cultural phenomenons of the year.
Okay, what's
Unless
that?
you did Loves Outside.
What's
Austin
that?
Powers, International Man of Mystery.
No, we haven't mentioned that.
That was huge. And I mean, I was in like
Really?
junior high. It was huge in my school. I had the "Shall we shag now or shag later" shirt,
Oh, jeez.
which
Is that
seems
the first one?
embarrassing now. What?
Yeah, that's the first one.
First one? Okay.
The first one. It was a huge hit, huge comedy hit. And I think it's still really funny. It's a classic. I mean, we were making fun of someone mentioned a Dr. Million, $1 million. You know, that's from Austin Powers. Like, it's still referenced today. And it's
Yeah, I still hear quotes from it, even though I've never seen it. A lot of times I recognize that that's what it's from.
Wow, you've never seen it?
No, never saw it. Was never interested.
Well, yeah, you don't like dumb comedies, right?
No, and it came across as dumb comedy, so I just
It is.
I had no idea because I never watched Bond films until like Casino Royale. So when it came out, I didn't even know it was
like a
parody-
Bond spoof or parody, yeah.
it parodies Bond.
Funny.
Oh, you didn't know that.
Hmm.
Oh, that's funny.
Like I didn't know till like later on that the characters in there were all like Bond spoofs.
Yeah, yeah. I recognized that much about it when it came, because but I was already watching Bond, so I knew that that's what it was, and because it looked goofy and ridiculous, I was just never interested.
I remember
So I didn't see that.
I remember seeing the commercials for it. You know, right before it came out, and I thought it looked stupid. And then I didn't see it at the theater, but I saw it. I rented it or something later on, and I thought it was hysterical. And it's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people. It's
Really
pretty
good.
popular. Yeah, we talked about Event Horizon. I enjoyed that movie when I watched it. That was the first time I watched it when I did the reaction to it.
Yeah, I saw that a couple years ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of scary. It's kind of dark and weird."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was an actual term until I thought that was just the title. I didn't realize all the scientific stuff behind what that meant until I watched the movie.
The Event Horizon is the point It's the border of the black hole where
Where
light
light
can't
cannot-
escape.
Yeah.
Black holes are creepy.
Scary. Yeah, they are.
A lot of people want that to be tied into the 40K universe. If anyone knows anything about that.
Warhammer?
Yeah.
40K? I don't know. I know that's a game. I don't know anything more.
There's a faction in 40K called Chaos,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot like the other dimension in Event Horizon. So
Cool.
Oh,
Just
so they
think it was
want
like-
to connect the two.
exactly, because they're so similar.
Right. Okay.
My favorite local rock band, my high school whatever, high schoolers, they were Warhammer 48K. We saw them play a lot. They were cool.
That's cool name.
Okay. we
So other
talked about-
comedies, Private Parts.
Oh yeah, that's a Howard Stern, right?
Hmm
Yeah.
That was the first time I was introduced to him because obviously we don't have the radio show over here.
Yeah.
I think I remember when that came out, and I don't recall if that's the first time I knew of him or if I already sort of knew him already. Because I think he was already on radio by then, wasn't he? When it
Oh
came
yeah,
out?
he's been on radio.
Okay.
for a while.
Okay. Maybe I already knew of him.
I
And
remember
then the movie came out.
as a kid, like I didn't like Howard Stern. I don't think I liked people who made people uncomfortable for fun. And as I've gotten older, I like it a lot more. I see the joy in it, I guess, because it's not. It's some people almost need to be made uncomfortable. Some people, there's just so much stuck upness that as I'm older, I can see where I don't get as a fan. Like as a kid, I would be like, those guys are just rude. Why are they being so like antagonistic or whatever? And now I kind of get it. It's like it's not my favorite, but I can appreciate that kind of humor better now.
Paul Giamatti was really good in that.
Private
his name?
Parts.
Yeah, he was.
What was the
Face or
premise?
something there.
What?
What was the premise of the film?
Is it kind of autobiographical? I never saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, was
Yeah.
okay.
Pig vomit. That's it.
I might actually
Big Vaughn.
watch it. Howard Stern's all right. I don't love him, but he's all right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's okay.
He's obviously smart, but he seems
He's
like
all right.
I mean, I've listened to some of his stuff, and I like listening to some of his things. I think I prefer someone like Joe Rogan more
yeah, I like Rogan.
in his interviews or discussions. But
Oh, was that the
Howard
guy
Stern's
that
okay.
interviewed that military guy about the UFOs?
Joe Rogan?
Or am I? Yeah,
maybe, maybe.
he was interviewing that one guy that was in the military, talking about how they were spotting that UFO or just some of the weird.
Joe
objects.
Rogan talks to anybody and everybody. That's one of the cool things about him.
Also, it is so crazy that the U.S. government just said, "Yeah, there's UFOs." Like,
I know, right? And there
No
was like
one's
hardly a ripple at all.
yeah, it's totally crazy.
So they
What?
don't. So they don't. Do they? I don't even know if they know what it is.
No, that's what they said. The U.S. government said, "We don't know what this is," which is
Yeah, I mean
Not
that's
ever
literally the definition of
Yeah.
UFO.
They
I was
were-
just about to say.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. There are no UFOs. It's all being debunked. If you look hard enough, it's just that some people want the limelight, really.
You think?
I've seen some of those debunked videos. Yeah, and to me,
No.
there's no way it's aliens. If it is, it's likely they're all not true. But if any of them's true, it's just some human invented it. There's no
So
alien.
were they just covering it up because they didn't want mass hysteria or something? Because in the end, when they mentioned that, yeah, it's UFOs, no one like flipped out about it.
Yeah, the internet's just made everyone crazy. Like they can just say anything.
I mean, there's a possibility maybe it's from a foreign country somewhere. You know,
It's
Like-
not. It's all camera aberrations.
I tend to agree with Simon. I
Yeah.
Really? You think
the
that's
most
what it is?
the
far out
weird-
explanation is it's China or Russia or private entrepreneurs.
that's what I'm thinking. But on the other hand, it's been spotted like in other places like Mexico, Asia, Chile.
Well, if you're taking if you're taking word of mouth accounts, you can never trust those. You can never trust people, basically. You can only trust video evidence, and even then, you can't
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, they did. Ancient
I'll share a
aliens.
video in the private chat that completely debunks it
Oh, okay. All right.
once I find it.
Okay, what you find?
Actually, who here would probably believe ghosts than aliens?
That they're real?
If they're
Believe
real.
more in ghosts than aliens?
Well, ghosts
Yeah.
don't
Some
make sense
people
at
would-
all. Aliens make sense, but it doesn't make sense they could move faster than light.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably, in my opinion, there's probably other life forms out there, but it would take them so long to get here,
Yeah,
just like it would take us so long to get there.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
basically-
We've never come in contact.
It might just be irrelevant whether or not there is. I don't know. It's kind of like
Right.
we can look at them, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be that person that just doesn't know. You
Well,
know?
there's like billions and billions of galaxies and solar systems, and there's
Yeah.
some number statistical probability of a number of planets that are going to be similar to Earth, I guess,
The Drake equation.
in the ability to harbor life. So,
Yeah.
It's kind of just creepy to think, you know.
but they would be so far away; they would be millions and millions of light years away. You know that we'll never come in contact with them, probably.
Probably not till like another million years.
What was that term you said, Simon?
The Drake equation. That is how to determine how. It was I can't remember the scientist's first name, but his surname is Drake, and he made up an equation to figure out roughly how many alien civilizations there would be in the universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the number he came up with?
Billions.
It really depends on the variables you put into the
Oh,
equation. So
okay.
it's like it's all over the place.
I think also. I mean,
I just
There's
don't
also
think
the
we
Fermi
know.
Paradox, which is if the universe is full of life, why haven't we seen any? And there are other explanations that suggest that what we're looking for is a sort of very anthrocentric way of thinking about aliens, in that
right.
we're looking for our technology.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas other people think that there's sort of 4 stages to a civilization's growth, which is that I think it's 1, you change the environment. 2, you change yourself with genetic engineering. And then I'm missing one here because I can't. It's been a long time since I read it. But the third one is that you and the environment merge. And if the aliens followed that path and their technology, I think basically merged with the environment, the
Right.
things that we've been looking at this whole time would be aliens.
No, okay.
We just can't recognize it.
I had a feeling you were going to come around to that.
Yeah.
I always think of it in terms of, if by aliens you mean life or civilization. Because if you look at Earth, life's been around for like 1 billion years, but civilization has been around for a couple thousand, and we don't know if it's going to be around another 100. So
Yeah.
we can only
Well,
say
I'm
for certain.
talking about intelligent civilizations who can manipulate their environment themselves and eventually
Right.
merge with them.
We don't
As
know.
far as ghosts go, ghosts of what?
Right.
Ghosts of bacteria? Ghosts of like
Yeah.
where's the
There's no soul or spirit.
where's
We're
the
all just
order?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's
I have no idea.
Like,
I don't
to me,
necessarily
I'll
believe
always
in
be
them,
in
but
the
I have
middle
no
of that.
idea because I
well, but we
could never
I
say for
ran-
sure. There's too much unknown.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I hear from other, like some of my coworkers at least, have experienced some odd things. Even my my cousin Corey was in a haunted house one time, and his family was going through weird stuff.
That's just an evolved response called enhanced agency detection, whereby it's better to assume that the rustling in the bush is a tiger
Yeah.
and not the wind, because if it's a tiger, then you can get out of there. If it's
You're
the
more
wind, then
likely
who
to-
cares? So
you're
it's
more
better.
likely to
It's safer
survive.
to assume that's a tiger.
Would there
Right.
be tigers in Rhode Island?
I mean, he's just trying to make a point. He's not being he's not being literal.
Like that's where they were, and Rhode Island is apparently like the most haunted state.
Scooter, good night.
So there's more ghosts than tigers in Rhode Island.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure your mom's office is the most haunted place in America right now.
It just is coming over here in waves, and he's across the room. Whew, okay.
Stop it.
He can't help it, poor thing.
Could
Oh,
be a ghost.
it smells like sulfur, so it might be something demonic.
Burn a candle if you can.
Oh god.
Oof.
Poor Skeeter.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
talked a little bit about absolute power because that's one of the ones
Oh yeah.
Arturo
How about
saw.
that one was pretty good.
Clint Eastwood, Laura Linney. I'm really appreciating Laura Linney more and more these days.
She's good
Especially
in
because I've been
Ozark,
watching Ozark. Yeah.
Wait.
but
who
she
did
also
play?
kind of infuriates me in Ozark. And her character does, not her actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her
They
character.
both are so flawed, both of those people.
Right.
Yeah,
But yet at the same time,
it becomes hard to root for them. You know,
yeah.
it's like
Wait.
they're just bastards. You know, like
Wait.
yeah,
Wait.
it's a good show.
What actor, Mom, are you talking about?
The girl who played Clint Eastwood's daughter
Oh, her.
there. And she
Wait,
also played in Congo, I think, which we talked about in one of the other years.
Wait, she played in.
She plays in a show on Netflix called Ozark. And, I am still on the last episode of the first season. I've been,
Oh, damn.
I started watching Ozark before we even moved into the new bedroom. So it's been like a long time that I started watching this. But one of the reasons I want to get back into it is because Tom Pelphrey shows up in season 3, and I've just discovered him, and I really want to see him.
I need to look him up.
He plays
Is
her
that the
brother.
girl's brother? Oh, he's good.
Yes.
He's really good.
I discovered him in Iron Fist, and Iron Fist is not that great, but Tom Pelphrey is so good in there. He steals the show from everybody. And
Yeah,
so now I want to watch more stuff with him in it. He's really talented.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was, but I like him on that show.
Yeah, I heard he was really, really good in there. So I think my brother Timothy told me about him. And it's funny because Timothy saw Iron Fist before I did. And so I was watching Iron Fist during one of my overnight stays at the clinic, and I was watching Iron Fist to pass the time, and so I started like really liking the character. He's so complicated, but he plays him really good. And I made this little short about it, just saying he's my favorite character and blah blah blah. And then Timothy calls me up. He said, "You know what? I actually told you about that character like a year ago when I first watched Iron Fist." I was like, "Oh, I completely forgot you did." But it's funny that we both recognized how good he was, and we zeroed in on him as our favorite. So I want to get back into Ozark just so I can get to his character, because I like him.
Yeah.
I got a movie from '97.
Okay.
I'm wondering if this is on anyone's list. I know it's
okay. What is
critical hit? Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Boogie Nights. Yeah.
Boogie Nights? I saw that on the list, but I scrolled past it because I never saw it.
Oh, it's so good.
Memorable. Yeah, it's really memorable. It's really good. It's really good. It's not my favorite type of movie, but I watched it a couple times. I really respect it and enjoy it. And
do you know what it's about, Sam?
Well, not 100%. As soon as you start telling me, I'll probably remember that that's what I've heard about it. So what, fill me in.
It's about the adult film industry.
Yeah. That's probably why I wasn't interested to watch it.
And Marky Mark.
Mark, yeah.
He's a star.
Was that
Burt
when
Reynolds,
he was? Oh, Burt Reynolds was in there. Okay, was that like when Marky Mark was starting to kind of become taken more seriously?
Yeah, I think this movie did a lot in making that happen. Yeah.
Yeah, he showed his acting chops because he was able to play a guy with a huge cock.
Yeah.
How explicit was this movie?
They show him like looking at his dick in the mirror. Like,
is he real full frontal in this movie?
Yeah, you see his dick. Like he's just looking at it. Like,
it's not CGI.
You see his prosthetic.
Yeah.
No,
because it might be, honestly, it might be CGI because they have done that in some films, like in the movie Y Tu Mamá También with Gael Garcia Bernal. There's a scene in that movie where they changed his appearance.
I kind of was like, there it is.
That's why I'm wondering if that was really him.
It might have been.
Yeah, it's like at the very end of the movie. It's just this totally gratuitous scene.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But the movie is fantastic. You should really check it out.
Seymour Hoffman has another like memorable kind of supporting role.
Oh, he's in that film as well?
He does he'll get 15 minutes screen time in a movie and be one of the most memorable characters.
Don Cheadle's in it. Julianne Moore is in it. William Macy's in it.
William Macy has a great role.
Who's the guy from Step Brothers, the funny guy?
John C. Reilly's in it. That was the first time.
I was going to say, it can't be Will Ferrell.
He's great in that, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is a really good movie.
What makes it so good? Like, what is it about it that makes it
It follows
compelling?
several characters over a period of, I guess, several years or a few years at least. And it just kind of it follows the industry, and I don't know. It's kind of like it's supposed to be like a documentary, kind of.
Kind of like the downward spiral.
It's a long. What's that?
Kind of like a downward spiral of Marky Mark's character, as he kind of gets.
So it's depressing. Then does he get hooked on drugs or something like?
Yeah, he's the main guy.
And he gets. That's another reason I probably stayed away from it. Those films depress the hell out of me.
It's a long movie, but it's one of those where you sit down and start watching it, and it doesn't feel.
There's no slow parts.
It never drags. Yeah.
Really.
I think it's really like it feels more real life than most movies do. Most movies kind of feel like a movie. I don't know what it is about. I'm assuming, right? I don't know, but there's probably less cuts. There's more long shots. I'm guessing. Because I'm just trying to think, why is it the way? But it feels like you're really there, rather than this is a scene in a movie. It's like because it's not afraid to show most characters in an unflattering light and just unflattering situations, and as the life gets worse, and it is kind of like a documentary, like you said. It feels almost like a fictional documentary,
like a mockumentary, then
compelling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a really intense, unforgettable scene, and you're about to see some people nodding their head here, that involves cocaine and firecrackers and guns. Yeah.
I almost brought that up, but yeah, that's like a crazy scene where he's just like, what the fuck has my life become? Like,
the intensity that builds during that is phenomenal.
It's really good scene. It is, yeah.
And it's funny too. It's really funny. Like Don Cheadle, the way his fashion is always changing.
Yeah.
You know? And everything he wears is like terrible. And Tyra Banks is in it too.
Oh, okay.
And Helen Graham, I think, is that her name?
Goodness, that's a big.
Heather
There's
Graham.
a big
Heather
Graham. Yeah, that's a big cast.
Yeah.
It's worth watching. That's a good one. It's worth watching. It's a classic. But if you're not into, the subject matter. I'm not even really into the subject matter, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I know it's been talked about a lot. I've just stayed away from it because it just never, I wasn't drawn into it.
She's gonna stay away from it.
What, Simon?
Of all the movies it would be closest to, it would probably be Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, closest to that? You mean like thematically?
Not thematically, just in sort of tone and everything.
Never seen that either.
Jesus.
I like Boogie Nights way more. I like Boogie Nights.
Okay.
You're disappointing him. Though.
It's a what's his name? What's that actor's? It's a Scorsese film, and when it seems like a typical Scorsese, and I'm not huge into the typical Scorsese stuff, so that's probably another reason I stayed away from it.
I went on about how Leo and Scorsese's like my favorite duo, and I love all their movies until Wolf of Wall Street, which I don't know why. I watched it once and I was like, that's enough. All their other movies I watched a lot of times.
It's I wouldn't even call it typical Scorsese because it's way more like upbeat than most of his stuff.
Yeah, it was lacking in tension.
It's really fun. I think he was trying
Yeah, it's different.
He was trying to make a film that felt like the cocaine-fueled 80s, rich. He was every scene is just totally overboard, ridiculous. So I think his whole film, the tone of it was supposed to be to match that, the excessiveness, or the
80s. Yeah.
Wait, the movie's set in the 80s, but
I didn't realize it was set in the 80s. No. We're talking about a completely different film. We're talking about Wolf of Wall Street. We jumped around.
Whoa, what are we doing?
It's based off a real story. It's a real guy lived that life and wrote a book, and then they based the movie off his autobiography.
Oh wow.
Wait a minute. So did the movie start out where like he's going out and there's he's going out to get some food and stuff, and then at some point his house is raided by the cops or something like that? I remember there was like this
You talking about Wolf of Wall Street?
there was this movie that played on the History Channel about this guy.
Are you talking about Catch Me If You Can?
I don't know if it was Catch Me If You Can. I just
I
remember
think it would have been on the History Channel though.
they
Yeah.
played this movie on the History Channel, and it's this girl wanted to go get something, which I guess for them it would risk them getting caught. So the guy gets in the car with the girl, and then obviously the cops are there, and this one girl's hiding some drug in her pants or something like that. I just remember it playing on the History Channel, but it was a movie.
Oh, what
You
is
think of the
Sashi?
Goodfellas?
I don't know what he's referring to.
But it
honestly.
looked like in the maybe late 80s or 90s film.
Now I'm curious. We need to figure out what that is at some point.
What's Sashi talking about?
I don't know. That's why I put it up. I'm not sure. Maybe we can be filled in.
It was around the time we were going to California. It was like we were on the plane and it was playing.
That was in 2011. I don't remember when Wolf of Wall Street came out. I thought it was after
I just
that.
remembered it was a movie. It looked like a movie, and it was playing on History Channel. Had something to do with drugs.
Give it 10 minutes, and if you don't like it, then just shut it off. But it's really good.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
The cocaine stuff too. Like I just don't like characters that have the it's really hard for me to get into that. But I know it made a splash when it came out because a lot of people felt like it was crazy and over the top.
I think I just didn't like the subject matter. I can't argue with Scorsese and Leo doing a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm particular about subject matter when I rate movies more. So
yeah.
Oh, Johnny Bravo came out.
I didn't realize that. My goodness, y'all. There's too many movies that I could bring up. I was going to bring up.
Has anybody seen? Well, I'm going to say, Simon, have you seen Perfect Blue?
Oh, that's
the anime. Yeah.
Yes.
A long time ago.
That came out in 97, and apparently two directors actually took inspiration from that movie and added it into their own movies.
Which ones were those?
Well, the only one I know of was it The Black Swan or something like that? With
okay.
Yeah, there was inspiration from that movie.
Oh,
it was also in the bath scene was in Requiem for a Dream.
Oh,
yeah, the bathroom scene. Yeah,
that's a dark one.
So Sashi explains what's up with the.
Was that from the Madoff Ponzi scheme or something like that?
I think he went down before that movie.
He's talking. Well, referring to
Sashi.
the
I don't doubt it.
Billions were siphoned from his country, and partly was used to fund the movie.
Yeah, they don't always make big headlines about that.
Huh? Of course not. Yeah, and that DiCaprio had to return some of his own. I'd never heard of that until you mentioned that, Sashi.
Link the story in the private chat.
Oh, you have a link to it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Simon's all busy behind the scenes looking up stuff.
Simon, have you seen End of Evangelion?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta pull these up so that I can save them for later.
Colin, did you like Beverly Hills Ninja at all?
Someone mentioned that.
I liked it. I didn't love it. It wasn't on the level of Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, but it was still. Beverly Hills Ninja. I think any movie Chris Farley's in automatically is worth watching. Like, and it's good. It just I don't know. I didn't watch as much as the other two.
Yeah.
Oh, Simon, Arturo has already seen that. By the way, I'm seeing some of your.
Wait, what?
I'm looking at some of Simon's comments in the private chat. He has seen Rush Hour. That's a fun film.
Wait, didn't Rush Hour come out?
I didn't realize
that's next year.
I didn't realize it was 98. I thought it was later than that. Holy cow.
It's 98.
Oh, to be fair, Sashi should know this. it looks like the producer who did the embezzling was stepson of former Malaysian prime minister, possibly somehow Malaysian himself. So I don't know.
Oh wow.
I'm
There's a book about it. $1 Billion Whale is the name of the book.
Americans do shitty shit all the time, all day. So it's not like we're saving our name. But I just thought it was like, oh shit, that dude looks like he's Malaysian. But everyone's corrupt. Every country's corrupt. The more opportunity people have to be corrupt, the more they will be. America has the most opportunity.
It's gotta be money.
Built into human nature to
It's greed. Yeah.
So a horror movie that kind of was pretty popular at the time that came out in 97 was oh god, scared the crap out of me. I know what I have to give him his medicine and I need to take him out. Maybe he needs to that will relieve his farting.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna mention. Gosh, there's so many more, you guys. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it was. All right, Chibi. That was big. I'm gonna turn off my camera and stuff so I can go take care of Scooter. You guys carry on, I guess. I'll be back.
All right.
And you'll be back.
Vegas Vacation. Did anyone like that one?
No, I kind of disappointed a little bit. I think it's too much Randy Quaid.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I remember, at the time I was like, Christmas Vacation's so good. I bet this is gonna be really good. And then, the original Vacation's pretty good. The first three, European's not bad. They're all kind of classics. And then Vegas came out, and it's like, yeah, it's the worst one in my mind.
Yeah, I still liked it though.
A lot of
funny stuff. Yeah, I think Randy Quaid is what turned me off to that movie. Too much Randy Quaid. Oh, Donnie Brasco. Did anyone mention Donnie Brasco? That's a good crime movie. Al Pacino and Johnny Depp.
Wait, that came out in 97?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
He's an undercover agent. Back when Johnny Depp was cool. And so many of these movies that felt like, in my 20s, it was like, I remember, I don't need to watch these. And I haven't watched them in like 10 or 20 years. And now I'm like, I don't remember a lot. I know I've seen them, but I don't remember a lot of the scenes.
Wait,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, Colin, you were like 12 this year?
Yep. 12.
How many movies did you see that year?
I don't know. I mean, I never, kept track. I mean, we would go see a movie in theater probably like 4 times a year, not every month, but maybe every couple months, maybe a few times in the summer. I don't know. And then we rented movies a lot. At various times, my parents worked at like Movie Gallery, which is like Blockbuster.
Oh, really?
And so they would just get free movies, just take home a free movie. And so I saw a lot of movies that way.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Back during Blockbuster.
It was nice. Yeah. Before streaming and all internet, it was nice to have that. And video games too.
Yeah, like I remember I would rent video games there, like PS2 games and all that.
I got to play a lot of games because, dude, I couldn't. $50 games back then, I was like, I owned like 3 or 4 games and I just rented every other game.
Back then it was expensive, but now looking back at it, games are like $60 now, but now that some of the newer games that are coming out are like $70 on these new consoles.
Well, it's crazy.
That's how they were back then too.
But inflation has like doubled what the dollars or whatever.
Doubled since 91.
So it's like the games, they were really expensive back then. $60 was like, that's.
Yeah. I remember I bought Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo, and it was $75.
Oh shit!
Really? Good night.
It was like 92, so that's probably close to 150 now, which is crazy.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, it was so in demand. It was like, so if you wanted to play a cool game, that was it. Yeah, it was like your option. Street Fighter. There wasn't that many really popular games that everyone's like, "This, you got to play this." Now we're so.
The market was a lot smaller back then, so they had to charge more to break even. But now it's huge. It's bigger than the music industry and the movie industry and the book industry. That's what's kept the price down.
That makes more sense.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with like how pricey games were like way back then, especially in the 90s or maybe 80s. I thought they were like maybe 50. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought weren't they kind of like in the 50,
They're
50
50, 60 bucks.
range around like the 2000s, sort of. I could be wrong.
In the 90s, they were usually 50, 60 bucks, but Street Fighter 2 was like probably the most popular game. I think the most popular games at the time, they could afford to make them premium price. You know, maybe when they were brand new or something.
Mhm.
Probably that was probably pretty new when it came out for $75. But yeah, they were typically 50 or 60 bucks, which is the same as today, but that was like 25, 30 years ago, so it's totally worth different.
Yeah, we've just like films, games have come a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, he went to the bathroom, but not in the way I would have hoped. So I expect I've got some more stench I'll have to be dealing with.
Oh well.
No, it's all right. What other films did you talk about then? Because I don't want to mention anything you've already.
Well, there was one that Colin mentioned about that Johnny Depp was in.
Donnie Brasco?
Oh wow, okay. I've never seen that.
It's
really good.
He infiltrates the mob. He's an FBI agent.
Okay, yeah, okay. I've seen.
I'm reading about it.
Yeah.
Was that based on a true story, right?
Yep, he infiltrates the mob, and it's kind of like he gets so far in deep that there's sort of mixed loyalties. So
I think I have maybe seen part of that then, because that sounds a little familiar. We talked about the Postman. Has anybody seen Wag the Dog?
Yep.
But
it was back then. So
I don't think so. That's Dustin Hoffman political movie.
Yeah, it's like
I never did see it.
It's political, and it's about kind of just goes
Like
into
they're
how
creating a
politicians.
fake political situation.
Yeah,
I saw part of it on TV once.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
weird.
got Anne Hesh, I think, maybe, and Kathy Bates. And anyway, I enjoyed it when I saw it, but it was like only once, a one-time viewing for me. Then also another film that I saw that I liked at the time, another Kevin Spacey movie, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil,
Never
which
saw
was
it.
supposed to be based on a true story. Some rich dude from down there in Savannah, Georgia. And I can't remember what the guy's name was. But I saw it only once, and there was a character that played in there that made an impression on me, the Lady Chablis. And you will know her/him when you watch the movie. You'll know exactly who it is.
Her/him.
Yeah. It's like a transgender or cross-dresser or transvestite. I can't remember, but that character was my favorite in the movie because just they were so eccentric and just the personality. And I think there was actually, I think that it was a real person, like they were playing themselves, in other words. That's what I think. Because this was based on a true story, but I can't remember exactly. And I believe that they might have passed away already. Let me see. Yeah, 2016.
Wait, they were.
Yeah.
They were like real transgender.
Well, I don't know exactly because I don't know a whole lot about this person, but I just remember their character stood out to me in that film. But anyway, Kevin Spacey. I watched it because Kevin Spacey, and it was supposed to be a bit of a mystery sort of type thing going on. But it's kind of a slow mover. And what else? Have you guys talked about Grosse Point Blank at all yet?
I never saw that one.
No, that was
you would like it.
John Cusack. He plays isn't he a hitman?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to his high school reunion.
Yep.
Or something. I saw it once. I enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah, his sister is his secretary. Is Miss Moneypenny?
Oh,
Joan
really?
Cusack? Yeah.
Oh, she's okay. Yeah, that's right. She was in there. I forgot she was in there.
Oh, they're in there together?
Yeah, that's which is funny.
I'm gonna add.
He's a hitman. He goes back to his high school reunion.
Mm-hmm.
But he's
Millie
sort of trying
Driver is in there
yeah,
as well.
he meets Minnie Driver, but during this, Dan Aykroyd is a rival assassin who's trying to kill him. So
It's kind of comedic from what I
It is,
remember. Yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
cool.
it's like a mixture of sort of thriller / actiony sort of kind of with comedy.
Mhm.
Because it's not goofy comedy. It's not slapsticky, but it was comedic. I remember.
So I got a question. So
Which I
we're
didn't expect.
to, I guess, our top 3, or are we going to do a top 4 here? Are we going
Well,
to?
Joe has a top 4.
We're
New
breaking the
top
rules a
four.
little bit. Are we going to add honorable mentions, or what are we doing?
Oh, you thought that was the worst movie? Really?
Oh,
I thought that
I'm
was.
just
I,
adding-
I-
Are you
I
thinking
thought-
about Cop Out?
yeah,
I'm
maybe you're
thinking,
thinking about Cop Out. Copland is the one with Sylvester Stallone.
I'm typing Copland in my watch list right now.
I thought that was a really, really good film. Probably one of my favorite Sylvester Stallone movies.
Didn't he put on like 50 pounds to play that
He
role?
gained weight. Yeah, he did. Because he was kind of, a little pudgy and out of shape. And I didn't. Is Cop Out the one? Is that with Tracy Morgan
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bruce
and
Willis.
Bruce Willis? Okay, I did see that movie, but I didn't realize it was. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was. I just didn't realize it was that old. Holy cow!
Oh, Cop Out's not from '97 though. Cop Out's from like
The
Early
2000s.
2000s,
the
yeah.
2000s. Yeah.
Okay.
A
We're
lot longer.
jumping too far.
Has anyone seen The Devil's Advocate?
No.
That's Keanu Reeves and
Al Pacino?
Al Pacino.
Have you seen it? Yep.
I think I saw it, but I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember the basic premise. So, what are
And
your
I think
thoughts?
it was Charlize Theron's first major role.
Oh, was that okay?
But yeah, the premise is that a gifted lawyer is taken in by a gifted sort of Southern lawyer who's in sort of the backwoods is taken in by a New York law firm. And it turns out that the law firm is run by the devil.
Right. Right.
So,
How accurate.
but there's a really stand-up performance or over-the-top performance by Al Pacino that's worth watching for.
Nice.
I thought it kind of got for some reason I thought it wasn't well received when it came out. But that might just be my imagination.
No, I don't think it was,
Okay.
but I enjoyed it.
Okay. I remember seeing it. I have in the back of my mind that I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something that I put complete attention on. It was one of those playing in the background type of films.
It's got some really nice visuals, good performances, and yeah, it's just it's a good movie, not a great movie.
Is that in one of your top 3?
It might get in there, but only because of what it was into at that age.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, is there any other movies to talk about for 97? Because I'm
looking for
all
my
out.
list. My list went away. Well, I still have several.
There's
Okay,
Chasing
I'll
Amy.
just say what?
Chasing Amy, since we were talking about Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I almost mentioned that. It wasn't one of. I don't really like many Kevin Smith movies, but especially after Mallrats. I love Mallrats, and Clerks is pretty good. But I don't know. It's maybe just me though. Chasing Amy. I don't like romantic human dramas.
I never saw that. Yeah, I haven't seen that film. Probably because of just the subject matter didn't appeal.
But it
to
was,
me
I
too
mean,
much.
unique, down to earth, different. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, just not my taste.
Not your taste.
It was kind of. I think it would got a lot of attention. Like I think it was pretty successful.
It
I
was,
don't
yeah.
remember, to
Okay.
be honest. Okay.
Compared to Mallrats, it was. And what was interesting is that it was woke for the time, but now people crap on it.
Really?
20 years later,
Oh.
yeah.
That's funny.
What was it? Was it some sort of like romantic comedy type thing, or
It
what?
was a lesbian relationship, I think. Or
Was it?
maybe she was bisexual or
He wasn't he trying to get with a girl that was a lesbian?
I
Mhm.
think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was some sort of romantic comedy. I guess because of the title, and so
It
that
wasn't
was.
too comedic.
No?
Not like you would expect from. It's probably Kevin Smith's least comedic movie. Although I guess
Really?
it's a horror movie and shit, but it's more kind of relationship drama. I feel it's him trying to be
Okay.
serious and make a real movie, which
Oh,
I guess he did. I mean, I'm not
Okay.
trying to. I instinctively crap on romantic mushy stuff, but I can't.
I
can't
kind of
really-
do too, Colin. I'm not.
I guess it just
Sometimes
depends on the. It depends on
yeah.
the romantic movie. Like if
It
it's
really
if it's
depends.
really bad, like the writing's terrible, like Titanic, then yeah.
It honestly, it just like sometimes it works for me, but most of the time it doesn't because it's so sappy. So I do it. But anyway, I'll throw out a few titles that I wrote down, like titles that I had seen that I kind of enjoyed. It's not my top 3. One was Conspiracy Theory. It was okay. Julia Roberts, Mel Gibson.
Yeah, not bad.
Mimic, which was a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Yeah.
Early.
Wait. Is that the one about the where they're in the subway?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I saw some of that.
That's been playing many times on, I think, Pluto TV. They played it a lot. And I enjoyed it. Kiss the Girls, which was based on a book.
Sam Jackson.
Morgan Freeman. I don't remember if Sam Jackson was in it or not.
A racist. I just saw the picture and I was like, "Is that famous?"
That was Morgan. I think he played like it's a character written by James Patterson, and I don't remember his name, but I remember I enjoyed that. Okay, also Switchback, which was Danny Glover and Dennis Quaid, and it's a story about there's a serial killer. Dennis Quaid is on the hunt for the serial killer, and the serial killer I think has kidnapped his son, and so he's trying to track him down. But that was pretty decent. And then The Relic, which was a oh crap, oh my goodness, it was a book adapted into a movie, and it's one of my favorite book series, and now I can't remember. Preston Child, and there's Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, and they write this series of books, and The Relic was the first book in the series, and the movie's not as good as the book obviously, but I enjoyed it at the time. Then Turbulence, which is an airplane thriller type film. Fools Rush In with Salma Hayek and
I was gonna say
Matthew Perry, I think.
Air Force One is the only airplane thriller that really did it for me.
There was a lot of airplane thrillers that year, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, yeah, Con Air,
Executive Decision.
Turbulence was Executive Decision in
No, I'm guessing. I
'97.
don't know if it was.
But I think maybe it was a year before or a year or two before. But yeah, so Turbulence was fun. I think I like Air Force One more. Fools Rush In was just this. Now, Fools Rush In was a romantic comedy, and the main reason I was interested in it was because it was this contrast between it's like this American guy and this Latina. They hook up for one night. She ends up getting pregnant. So then they decide to try to make it work. And there's all this culture difference going on because she's Mexican. You know, he's this American, and they don't necessarily completely understand each other. Her family's not very accepting of him. And it's kind of cute and funny. And that was the main reason why I enjoy it. And plus, you know, I'm American, my husband's Mexican, so I can sort of identify with the humor going on in the story to a little extent. Cool. That Darn Cat, which was a remake of a Disney film, and it stars oh gosh, I don't remember.
I remember that.
I think was it Chris Tucker? Chris Tucker and what's her name? Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci.
Yeah. And The Saint, which is Val Kilmer and Elizabeth Shue. Murder at 1600, which is Diane Lane and Wesley Snipes, sort of
White House
type 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Breakdown, which was Kurt Russell, and his wife gets kidnapped. I mean, there was a lot of.
He's a trucker.
No, he's not a trucker.
A different one.
But there's a trucker, I think, that's involved in the story. And then The Rainmaker, which I think is a John Grisham story. So those were some of the ones that I enjoyed from '97, and it would surprise the heck out of me that there were so many of them. But that's not my top 3.
I gotta throw out, it's not. I saw it once when I was young. It's probably bad, but Gone Fishing with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover really made me laugh.
Yes, right. I saw that movie, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
I see that.
And it was insane and over the top, but it was fun. To me, it was fun. Yeah, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
So I guess before we move on to the shows, are we going to do a top 3, 4?
I'm ready to do a top. What's that?
Honorable mentions?
There's one more movie I want to mention, The Game, David Fincher.
Was that with Michael Douglas?
And
Yeah.
Sean Penn.
Oh
And
yeah, I
John
thought
Penn.
someone would mention that.
I enjoyed that. I remember enjoying that when I saw it, but I only saw it once.
Is that? I think I'm
Fun.
mistaking this. Is that the one where he's like tricked,
Yeah, it is.
and then at the end he's like, "We all tricked you to make you like."
But spoilers.
Yeah.
Blah, blah.
I mean, no, that's not the right movie. Sorry, that's a different one. Okay.
No, it is that movie.
So, yeah.
Oh wait, no,
he's
you're
trying
right.
to. He's trying to. Save it. He's trying.
Yeah, that was an interesting movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was David Fincher either. It was an early.
Yeah, I didn't remember who directed it. I just remember I liked it at the time.
Oh, Life is Beautiful won a lot of awards, and I watched that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I learned.
I
so
did
much
not
watch
want to
movies
see
like
that movie.
after being young and like I'm gonna experience everything and art and stuff. And it's like I watch enough movies like that. You're like, I don't need to see another Holocaust movie.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, that's a Holocaust movie?
I think that's the one where the family is in. They're like in. It's like a whole
boy and his
family.
dad. Well, I don't remember. I don't remember. I just remember a boy and his dad.
It's an Italian movie, La Vita e Bella, and basically
Mhm.
it's about a father trying to shield his son from the reality of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So you don't actually see the Holocaust for the first half of the movie. It's all seen from the son's perspective of the world that his dad created.
And he makes
And
it
then
like this
after-
fun thing,
Yeah.
right? He's just like this fun, enjoyable
We're
sort of.
playing a game. You gotta move this over here. It's a game. We're not in death camps. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the movie is.
I saw the scene of when they took the father away, and how he still, even as he was being taken away, he was trying to protect his son from the horrors of what was happening. And when I showed that scene, I was like, I can't watch this movie. I can't watch this movie. But I remember when it came out, and I remember that it got attention for sure. Didn't he win an award for that movie, like an Oscar or something?
Sure.
Yeah. Didn't he get up and walk on the
Yeah,
tops
he
of
was
the
like-
seats? Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was real enthused about it. He was real
Yeah,
positive.
he absolutely was.
Yeah.
Probably almost as enthused as Adrian Brody when he won his best Oscar,
Oh yeah.
and how he bent
More so.
Halle Berry over and gave her a kiss,
Yeah.
or bent her back. Anyway, so who's ready to list their top three then?
Are we doing top 3, top 4, or honorable mentions? What are we
Well,
doing?
I'll do top three. Joe has four. I mean, there's
We're
no
doing
hard
top
and fast
15.
rule.
By this
There's no
point, I
hard
feel
and
like
fast
we're going to
rule.
grow into top 10s.
Tell
I
you,
wonder-
there was just a lot of good films this
I
year.
just wonder if we needed at some point do just a top 10 of the best 90 movies
Oh,
that
I
we've
don't know.
discussed. so
That
far.
would be
90s. Yeah.
that would
that'd
be
be good.
tough, but that's probably actually a good video to actually do, like just like a top 10 for just for like a regular video upload. That's giving me an idea. I might want to do that.
I might. Yeah, I was thinking about doing it for my top 10 videos. That I
That'd
do
probably be
separate.
kind of a fun project, Arturo.
Jurassic Park.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be one of them. No, there's no question at all what would be my number one.
Me too.
Oh,
Titanic.
Yes, of course.
obviously,
No.
obviously. I mean, and then again, it could be Titanic for you.
No, you know that it will not be ever.
You sure?
Hmm
Or are you just hiding it?
I secretly love it. Anyway, okay. So who wants to go first?
You said you would.
I did. I just said it was ready, but I'll go first.
Okay.
Now,
now.
where's my dang list? Hold on, my list keeps disappearing on me. Oh, here we go. Okay, so my top three, in no particular order, because I like all of these. So Liar Liar is in my top three.
Nice.
And this got crapped on a little bit during today's discussion, but Face Off.
No, sorry.
That's a good one.
Okay, it's all right. And then we did not talk about this one at all, but I always enjoyed this, and I rewatched it, and I still like it, and I believe it's based on a book, which I'm kind of curious to read, and it's called Smilla's Sense of Snow, which
Oh.
crickets, because nobody has heard of this.
Smell
But it
for
had-
Smellas?
You've heard of it? It's got,
Mhm.
what's her name? Julia
Wait,
oh my God.
Stella's sense of smell.
Smilla's
Smell?
Sense of Snow.
Snow.
Yeah.
Smella's
Yeah.
sense of snow. Okay.
It's got the girl who played in oh gosh, what's her name? Is she like a French girl? Her name is
Amelie.
Julia Ormond.
Okay.
And Gabriel Byrne, Richard Harris, Vanessa Redgrave. But it's like a mystery story. And I can't remember if it takes place in Greenland or Iceland or somewhere. And Julia Ormond, she has this little neighbor boy, and he ends up running, I think he runs right off the roof of their building. And it's painted as an accident, but she always suspects that it was murder, that someone drove him off the building, basically. And he was a kid, maybe he was deaf, he had something was wrong with him. And there's a lot of flashbacks where it shows interactions with her and the kid. He doesn't have a very present mother. And so Julia Ormond kind of forms this bond with him, and she starts to investigate what's going on, like what caused it. And she finds out there's kind of a deeper conspiracy behind what caused this kid to die. And cool. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I always have. And so that's why I put it in my top 3.
Yeah, it's got a good cast. Dumbledore's in it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty good. Peter Capaldi. Oh, I forgot he was in it. Because it's been a few years since I've seen it, but I just remember always liking it. So
that's cool.
Yep. So what was yours, Colin?
Well, I don't know. I was trying to narrow it down. I'll just do a top 5.
Here we go. We're expanding the list.
And I could almost throw Princess Mononoke in there. So I just gotta. That was a good one, but okay. I guess I can't not include Austin Powers. That's a special movie, and I feel like I can't not include Jackie Brown. I can't
Jackie Brown
off the list, even though Jackie Brown is one of the, I don't want to say least favorite, but probably like just a slower Tarantino movie. I just like all those others more, but I still really like Jackie Brown.
Well, they said that was the first one that he didn't write, that he directed.
Well, I don't know. I think Pulp Fiction's damn near perfect, and Reservoir Dogs is awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, it was somebody else's work, and he adapted it.
Okay. Well, that's the only time he's done that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only time. But I agree with you. I think Jackie Brown is pretty good. Yeah, but he wrote that, but he didn't direct it. I'm talking about like movies he's directed.
Movies he directed, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was quite well done, Jackie Brown. The different perspectives that the story was told from at times, and the chemistry she has with the guy, the bail bondsman guy. There's a lot of detail I had forgot.
Yeah, I forget the actor's name, but he's
Samuel Jackson being Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, of course, was really good in there. I remember Bridget Fonda's character and what happened to her, and then what happened to Robert De Niro. I always remembered those scenes because they were just so they just happened so quickly, and it just shocked me. Yeah.
Well, I kind of knew it was coming with the specific scene, but not the.
But
first
it just happens like so quick.
Yeah, not
you
the
didn't
first,
know the first one was going to happen.
Not the first scene, but then I was like, oh, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
The second scene, I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen anyway.
Did you know that Pam Grier in '88, when I think she was about maybe, I think she was like 39, that she was diagnosed with cervical cancer and they gave her 18 months to live?
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. That shocked me. I was looking it up last night, and she very aggressively went after, treating it. And I don't know if she did things like diet changes or whatever. And she has definitely beat that 18-month prognosis they gave her.
That's inspiring.
So, that was great.
Yeah. Never listen to a doctor who tells you you're done.
I tell you.
One of the only things I've learned.
Very easy to be cynical.
Yeah, I just think...
They just have to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So then, number 3. Let me think. Where is that? Yeah, LA Confidential. I feel like I gotta put above those two because it's like we're talking about. It's like a perfect movie almost. And then top 2 is more personal favorites with Starship Troopers, which I love. It's such a good, weird, violent sci-fi movie. Kind of dark, kind of funny. It's not really funny, just kind of the way it's dark and weird. But weird, it's like the way it's dark, but it's shown in this positive light because it's like we're a fascism society. Go get them, and you got to see.
I'd forgotten about that element of it completely. I should probably rewatch it.
It's really good, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like it. I just like that kind of like military, like shooting the bugs. It's blood and shit. And,
Eh.
I don't know. It's fun. And then Fifth Element we talked about. That's
Yeah.
like one of my
Yeah.
all-time favorites. So that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, I
Good
might
list.
have to do like a top 4.
Oh, geez, here we go.
I would have done top 3, but it's like,
It's a good year.
It's hard for you, because you saw a lot. You actually have quite a bit to choose from. There's
is
still a lot
anybody
you haven't
else
seen.
gonna go before me, or?
but- Simon or Joe, you guys want to go?
Go ahead, Archer.
All right. Well, I do have an honorable mention,
Okay.
and that would probably be Perfect Blue as the honorable mention. Now, number 4 would be Con Air, and then number 3 would be L.A. Confidential. Then number 2 would be Fifth Element, and number 1 Air Force One.
Okay.
Awesome. I love your
Fun
pick.
list. Yeah. Yep. I like
Having
all those
agree.
films. I haven't seen Perfect Blue though, but I like all those other films too.
Okay,
Fun.
so Mom,
And
I
you
know
did-
you didn't
you
like
did like-
Paranoia. I know you didn't like Paranoia Agent. It was made by that guy, but Perfect Blue was like his first film, and it made sense.
Did I ever see Paranoia Agent?
Yeah, you did. Remember, you said it was way out there, way
Okay, I completely forgot what it was.
a little slugger.
Oh, Little Slugger. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
We were talking about the skateboarder at the Olympics.
Yeah,
Who reminded us
Yeah,
of Little Slugger.
it was
Okay.
too weird, but Perfect Blue, like that was his first film, and it made more sense.
Made
with-
more sense than okay,
yeah, than
Paranoia
Paranoid Agent,
Agent.
because with that it's more of like psychological horror.
Okay. All right, maybe I'll check it out. Do you have it? Is it on Funimation?
I don't know if it's on Funimation. That was the one I saw in movie theaters.
Oh, okay. When you went with your friends. All right.
Well, no, I was the only one.
Oh, you were by yourself?
yeah,
Oh.
because Matt couldn't go. He gave me
Oh.
the ticket, so I went and saw.
Okay. All right.
Archer, did you like Jackie Brown?
I did. It was. I would admit, probably it was a little confusing.
Right. Yeah. I think it gets better with rewatches. It's
It-
just
yeah.
slower.
I didn't remember how intricate the plot was until I rewatched it because I had seen it, like I said, multiple times, and I always could follow it okay. But for some reason, when I was watching it this time, I was like, "Wow, this is a little intricate." Like, how in the world did I follow that before? But it was fun. Okay, Joe and Simon, you guys are the only ones left.
Go.
I'm afraid to say mine.
Why? Don't be afraid.
Brace yourself.
Oh no! Don't say Titanic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Teasing. Okay. All right,
Well,
Joe,
not
we're
the
waiting.
song, but the movie I like.
You did like Titanic?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I'm not the only one that liked it.
You don't have to be defensive.
A
It's
lot
okay.
of people liked it.
It's all right. A lot of people did like it.
It was
That's
only
why
like
it made almost $2 billion.
Is it evil for me to say that the only thing I like about that movie was when the ship sank?
That's the only thing I like about it too.
I mean, it was really well made. Like
It is
And-
really well made.
The technical stuff, yeah.
it's
Well,
a
it
long-
actually wasn't really well made.
Really?
That's why it sank.
Oh, ha, Simon.
And I mean, it's also another really long movie, but it never felt that way to me. So I don't
Okay.
know. I like it.
A lot of people do like it.
And
Then
then
mostly women that like it, though.
Don't give Joe a hard time. No, your dad likes it, Arturo.
Oh.
So
Uh,
yeah. So no, it's not just women.
And then Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. No, I'm just
No.
kidding. I'm
I was
kidding.
like, was that 97?
I was like, I almost brought that up because I watched it.
Was that in 97 too?
Yeah.
That was Mira Sorvino or something, right? She was also in Mimic.
Lisa Kudrow and
Yeah, Lisa Kudrow.
Mira
Sorvino.
But no,
Yeah.
that's not.
Alan
That was
Cumming?
on the list, but
I don't remember. I haven't seen
yeah,
that.
Alan Cumming.
Okay.
No, that wasn't on my top 4. But
Okay.
I just threw another girly movie in there. But
Trying to not make Titanic look so bad by comparison.
yeah.
I see what you're doing.
So the other ones I had was Goodwill Hunting, Austin Powers, and Boogie Nights.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Nope.
Yeah. It's good one.
Yeah. I don't blame you, Sashi. I got so sick and tired of that song. So sick and tired.
Actually, why
Of
not
it.
I just go ahead and pull it up?
No,
right
don't.
now?
They played the hell out of that song when that movie was out. Okay. The only one that surprises me on there is Titanic.
I mean, James
No,
Cameron
But
never
it's
made
not
a
like
bad
hard
movie.
it's that
time, Mom.
unusual. I'm not giving him a hard time. I'm just saying it surprises me, but a lot of people did like the movie. So
It made
on the other hand,
$1 billion.
it doesn't surprise me. It made almost $2 billion.
I still don't get it though because it's just.
You
from how
haven't seen it. You might feel
Yeah, but
differently
from how,
about it than I
how
do.
I
At
saw
the
the
time, yeah, at the time it came out, the effects were really good.
oh yeah.
It was
So-
terrifying. The part, one of the scariest parts was when they were climbing up to as it's going down, and they're
Yeah.
climbing up to the top, and they're hanging on the rails. That I mean, some of the imagery in there was
really
very
effective.
very scary. Yeah,
It
it
really
was-
made
I
you
actually
think.
thought that was hilarious because
Really?
it
You
was so
thought it
schlocky. When you see the wide scenes when the ship's breaking apart and going vertical, and
Yeah.
the people falling down and smacking off the
Yeah.
stacks or whatever, that's hilarious.
you thought that was
It was
funny.
funny.
You,
Like,
you are terrible.
You remind me of my friend Matt Air.
That's funny.
no, but that
I'm just
It
thinking about how
terrifies
horrifying
me.
it must have been for them. I
Yeah.
mean, for when it was
water
really happening
terrifies
to
me.
people.
Like that mass pulling you down, like the suction of the ship, where like you can't swim away, it's pulling you down. Like that. I never thought about that, and that was freaking me out. when
I
saw
haven't
it. Like,
seen
God.
that. I haven't seen
Bill
that
Burr
video.
said it was a horror movie.
Horror movie
guys.
for guys. Yeah,
What?
I haven't seen that little bit yet, but I think I know what it's about. Like about
Well,
all the
like
women and children.
like I said, the only credit I could give that movie was that it was accurately depicted on how that ship sank. I will
Yeah.
give it that.
I
credit.
thought that it was, and then of course he was all into Titanic stuff, and he did like this little documentary where he went down and he was looking at the ship. I think he
Uh-huh.
went down like a little actual thing down there to examine the ship.
Yeah.
It's so eerie to look at it.
Didn't they find some stuff too, like some items.
Oh yeah, there's
nice.
stuff
There
down
we
there
go.
still.
Element.
Glenn-
Look,
Glenn
Titanic
Powell
back up.
Oh, even Glenn
Glenn's
likes
backing him up with
Titanic.
Titanic.
Oh,
He
is it?
waited for me to say it, I guess.
Got power. Not bad, man.
Well, Mom, you gotta join in on the bandwagon for that one.
I think no, I will not ever. You will not make me. I think there were probably a lot of women that died too. The people down in the lower class who weren't able to get out.
A lot of people died.
But a lot of obviously when tragedy or something terrible happens, it is always let's save the women first, the women and children first, and then of course, what's his name, Billy Zane's characters, complete, douchey guy, and he's trying to act like he's a woman to sneak on there.
I think the probably more disturbing scene was probably whenever the I guess one of the lifeboats is looking around for any survivors, and there's like all these people just frozen, including one of them holding a baby.
There's like
Yeah, a lot of the people did die in the water.
so
Yeah.
low.
Even the people that made it off the boat. Ugh.
But then that one stupid scene when, spoiler alert, but he could have gone on. He could have gone on that.
Right, there was plenty of space. So,
Yeah.
jeez.
They gotta make it to where he dies.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. Let's quit hating on Titanic. It's Simon's turn.
Well, first off, I just want to say I hate Titanic, and it's actually it's because familiarity breeds contempt. The Titanic was built here in the shipyards.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ireland
yeah.
Belfast is a very famous shipbuilding town. The
Right.
skyline is
Actual
dominated by
Oh my god. Damn.
it's Yeah, the skyline's dominated by these two huge cranes, Samson and Goliath, as they're called.
Wow.
And
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
my
Isn't that
main
neat?
problem with it is what the Belfast Tourist Board choose to promote as what's good about Belfast, which is Titanic, The Troubles,
Huh?
and Game of Thrones,
Okay.
all of which were horrible things. But anyway, let's stop hitting on Titanic and get into the top 5 it's going to be, because I really couldn't
Okay.
choose. I actually had a list of 15.
Oh, really? Did you? You had a list of
Yeah.
15?
Wow.
Yeah, but I had to
Nice.
cull it. But I'm going just by the amount of times I watched each one in ascending order.
Mm-hmm.
So number 5 would be LA Confidential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Number 4, Donnie Brasco.
Nice.
Okay.
Number 3, Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Number 2, Good Will Hunting. And number 1, one we haven't talked about, Lost Highway. It's probably
Oh,
best not to
David-
talk about it.
No, we
Let's-
haven't. Why have we not talked?
I'm surprised. I never saw it though. That's one I probably should watch.
Oh, it's a David Lynch film.
It is, right?
Oh, I wonder if I've
Right,
seen.
David Lynch is like,
What's that one about, Simon?
Yeah, I was going to ask what's the synopsis.
It's a David Lynch film.
yeah, it's.
That explains it all.
A
Yeah.
series of dreams.
I should. I'm adding that. to
It's
my list,
basically,
yeah.
I think it's really about a guy who goes in what's a fugue state, I think it's called, where he kills his wife and then invents this reality. And that's
Oh.
the best way I can interpret it. But
Kind
it's
of like Shutter Island.
I'm
kind
gonna
of,
watch that.
but more
yeah.
than
Sorta?
shit.
And look who is late for the
Oh,
party.
Derek. Hey, Derek. We were just going over our top 3.
I always seem to pop in at this point. That's fine.
We're putting a lot of pressure on it. Simon was talking about Lost Highway, which is his number 1 for his
With
top.
Bill Pullman.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Rosanna, Patricia Arquette.
Mhm.
And you were
Oh, Bill
explaining
Pullman's in
the
that.
premise. You said he kills his wife and he creates an alternate reality, and I said something like similar to Shutter Island, and I couldn't hear what you said.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
it's David Lynch, so it's whatever.
So
I should
yeah,
watch it. His movies
David
are
Lynch.
Well, I
challenging
guess
in a good way.
since Derek's here, what's your top 3, Derek? Or 4 or 5?
Some
Oh,
people
wow,
couldn't narrow it down to 3 because there were a lot of good films in this year.
Has everyone else gone already?
Yep,
The top 3?
you
Oh.
popped in at the perfect time.
Oh, wow. Okay. 97. This is when I started paying attention to film, I guess, when I was 11, 12, whatever, you know.
Me too.
I really started paying attention and getting into it. So, gosh, 97. Has anyone talked about Scream 2?
We have
Yeah, we
briefly.
did.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna write since I'm kind of cold, getting a cold start here. Sorry. Usually get kind of warmed up. Everyone's talking about movies and, oh yeah, there's that and this and that and you know. But no, I love Scream 2. That was one of my favorites, I think, of at least as a kid, because I was really into horror, and horror had kind of been a dead genre until that, you know, until the Scream revival. It was kind of toast, dead in the water. You had very few things that the studios would put out that was horror oriented, and so that was kind of like fresh blood, and you got to kind of witness that revival. And then, you know, obviously it led to, you know, Halloween, H2O, new Candyman. I mean, they dug into every franchise. So I really was happy when Scream 2. I really had my finger on the pulse with that one, and so I always have good memories with that. And
Was it my imagination that people hate on that movie quite a bit?
I think they were at the time, they were let down, but then Scream 3 came out, and then they loved Scream 2.
Oh, okay.
I
See, I liked all of them. I've liked
Yeah.
all of them so far. Like, I don't really have any particular huge dislike for
Yeah,
any of them.
I heard people don't like the second one.
Yeah.
Well, what they
I
did to Jamie Kennedy was unforgivable. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, no spoilers.
I
I
won't say
haven't
that,
seen it yet.
Oh, we're not supposed to say. Okay, well, sorry.
well,
Well, it's.
I mean,
Hey man,
he
you got
hasn't-
25 years here. You should. If you
I
don't
he's
know
a
by
little
now.
late to the game, right? He hasn't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Well, that's where I posted, you know, in the thing about Showgirls.
Mm.
You know, where you go,
Yeah,
"What's your favorite scary movie?" And he goes, "Showgirls." That's from Scream 2. So I always do that when I always test.
I didn't know that's what you were referencing when you said that.
Oh,
I know.
that's kind of how I test the horror junkies. See if they're worth their salt. I always go when they go, when we're talking favorite scary movies, I'll go Showgirls. And if they stare at you like a deer in the headlights, or you ask them the square root of something, then you know that this person's a poser. They don't love horror.
That's me. I'm a poser, I guess.
I'm joking. I'm being a snob.
No.
But you get the people who will get it. You know what I mean? They'll go, "Oh, I get it." Scream. You know what I mean? They'll brandy me. So
that sounds fun.
Flaw in your argument though is that the Scream movies suck.
No, Simon is not a fan.
I will not take blasphemy, any negative talk of Wes Craven. Even if he just hoard his name out and put executive producer on there, we do not speak negatively of Wes Craven in the house of film.
Ding, 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 ding. Round one.
Pass the plate around. We need donations. So. But yeah, Scream 2 was pretty good. I thought it was. I thought they were actually. I did, even though I briefly spoiled it with Jamie Kennedy. I liked that they killed a lot of people that you didn't think would get killed.
Like they did in the first movie.
Yeah. They continued that going to even people like you'd recognize someone who was really handsome or who's a cool character or a actor you recognize, and knife to the face. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of cool.
Jada Pinkett Smith, wasn't this the movie she was in? Jada Pinkett.
Yeah. She, basically the equivalent of the Drew Barrymore opening where she got and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Remember she had the brief 2-scene role where she got.
That's the one she was in. I couldn't remember which one she was in.
Well, she was in a lot. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then,
we did talk about that movie too. But I forgot she was in Scream. I forgot it was the second Scream. I remembered she was in one of them.
Yeah, and she had reshoot scenes. Like she was part of because remember, I don't know if you remember, that was at the time. When we talk about now script leaks on the internet, now it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, in other words, it's Tuesday. They're always, spoiling movies online before they come out. But this is one of the first ones I remember ever hearing that about, where they shot multiple endings because the script leaked out ahead of time on the internet. Wow, okay. Back when you had photocopy stuff and fact or whatever. You'd send a little canary with it attached to its leg or something. But no, that was a big to do. So they shot a bunch of endings, and I know hers got her part of the ending. One of the changes, she had to reshoot scenes. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling on about Scream trivia here. But
was this the one where even the actors didn't know what the final was going to be because there were so many different scenes that had been shot? I thought I saw some sort of trivia about that. Yeah, that one because they changed things, and I think part 3 they kept it deliberately until the actors didn't know until. But I know this one they were they changed things with Timothy Olyphant and Jerry O'Connell. Okay. Their roles got, in some versions they were the killer, and they switched to, you know what I mean? And don't forget, Laurie Metcalf, who ended up being, right. Jackie from Roseanne. Oh, so, yeah, right. Her. Yeah. I met her in Las Vegas. I mean, I met her in New York. So I got a picture with her. Yeah. She's pretty cool. Oh, okay. She did a live play, a Damn It Mammoth production called November. She was very tired, and it was interesting seeing her up close, and she didn't have makeup on or anything. It was actually really kind of humanizing. You know what I mean? Right. Right. She was cool. She was a nice lady. But okay, I can move on from Scream. That was one of them. I want Scream 2. I adore that film, and I think it was a worthy follow-up. So I know it's some people view Scream as a bad omen because it kind of took a lot of the blood out of the horror genre for a while. But I dig them. Thanks to Scream, we had the revival we had, and got a lot more horror movies out of there. Right. Okay. So. And then so still going with 97. I want to talk about, and I mentioned, we've talked about this one briefly, G.I. Jane. We talked about this one. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Shoot, I know you like that. Right. I love watching movie. Demi Moore do pull-ups. It's just one of my things, I guess. She was pretty strong. Yeah, she was. I read her book when she's talking about that and how her legs were, well, she claims they were so muscular that she couldn't fit pants on. They wouldn't go over her thighs and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I thought she really threw herself into that because when you see her, even her neck got pretty solid. You look at her and she just looked
totally different from this dainty little girl. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
that was a cool movie too. Like, I don't think like story wise, I think it had a lot, and leaves some to be desired because it's basically them in boot camp. You know what I mean? But it's pretty good. I liked Ridley Scott did it, so it's really a top notch like a visual experience. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like it's really it's expertly done as on a technical level.
Was there actually a sort of a plot to it besides them being in boot camp?
I
Or
thought they
Well,
had to
just-
rescue somebody.
Yeah, and that wasn't. Yeah, they put that in at the end, and that was kind of they reshot some stuff, but because they had to put like a finale, but they all kind of at the last minute. It's like Top Gun, where at the last minute it's like, oh, we have something
have
for
to go
heroic for you guys
fight
to go
these
do.
Russians, yeah.
Right, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, she did. Yeah, and she about dedicated her going to boot camp, and she actually was able. She said was able to do about 4 pull-ups on her own. So I know, and
That might not seem like a lot, but pull-ups are freaking hard. I can't do one on my own. I've always
Yeah.
had to do them assisted.
yeah, and especially for women, I know it's an exceptionally
Yeah.
difficult task, and I think it's just. I think a lot of women just don't have a want to do pull-ups, but
Yeah. I mean, I
uh,
wanted to, when I saw
pull-up.
Sarah Connor, doing those pull-ups, I was very
Right.
motivated, but I
Want to
never
be
could
Sarah Connor.
I never could get to an actual full-on pull-up. Sorry, what were you saying, Colin?
I said there's a park I do pull-ups at a pull-up bar. I tried to do it for exercise, and it's when I first started doing it, it had been a while, and I couldn't do 5. Like I could do 3, maybe 4, and then I've been doing it more and more. Now I can do like 8, but I had to like keep doing it because when you go from not in good shape, they're really hard.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
pull-ups
really-
are tough. Just because you have to use a set of muscles to pull your entire body weight. There's not a whole lot of there's only a handful of exercises where you have to move your entire body weight with, and there's not
Yeah.
a whole lot of there's not an easy way to cheat on those. So
Calisthenics.
they're
Have you
pretty tough.
seen that viral video of this woman who's doing pull-ups, but she's like acting like she's dancing to a Eurythmics song?
No, I have
Have
not.
you seen that? Oh, you would love that. She even came on the Ellen show.
Oh,
And she's like super strong, and she was like doing
Wow.
this. She was like doing the pull-ups, but she was acting like she was walking on steps in the air while she was doing it. It was really cool.
oh, I've seen stuff like that. Some of the if you ever watch if you actually ever watch the entire Mr. Olympia event, like the whole 3 hours both nights, they have one where they do actually like dance performance stuff like
On
that,
the
and
pull-up bar.
and-
Okay.
or different, just launching these women. It's women, a women's category. But they're just launching themselves in the air. It's like watching Cirque du Soleil, but they're all exceptionally aesthetically built as well.
Yeah.
It's a cool, athletic feat to watch. You're like, oh wow,
Yeah, I
that's
imagine.
crazy. You watch them do splits like right there, and then like contort themselves in ways that like make you groan just watching. You're like
I know. Right.
and so.
Right.
But yeah,
Oh,
no,
what's
she did
that?
shave her head.
What's that noise?
Sorry, I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Oh, is that Colin? Oh,
I forgot. I
didn't know
forgot
where
that
it
was going through to the chat. I just clicked on this Scorsese
Oh,
video.
maybe you
I'm
can
sorry.
pull up the Titanic song.
No, don't
Oh.
do that, please.
One
it
of
for
Billy
my
Zane's
mom.
greatest, man,
And
Titanic.
I was mentioning Billy Zane. Okay, so and what's your other one?
My third one. Can I give a shout out to Fire Down Below with Steven Seagal and Randy Travis and Mart Helgenberger, and,
Gosh.
Chris Christopherson?
Yeah, well,
um,
I don't think I've seen that.
That was like his last hurrah theatrically. Like his star had officially pretty much faded. His box office was toast in the U.S.
You mean
I mean, he was
Steven
still huge
Seagal?
in the rest of the world. Yeah, Steven Seagal. But I liked Fire Down Below. Like it was I always tell people it's like, he's a polarizing figure, but if you just watch as like an action movie, like it's solid, and
What's
it's
the
one of those
premise?
childhood ones that I enjoy the heck out of.
What was it about? Because I don't remember if I've seen it or not.
It was supposed to be a sequel to On Deadly Ground, where he continued fighting environmentalist type stuff, as an environmentalist. But they were dumping, and I guess that part was true, where they had these companies would store chemicals in mountains and try to dump them, and he found out about that, and there was a whole conspiracy, with evil casino head Chris Christopherson millions and millions of dollars involved, and he gets too close as an FBI agent. So of course they try to kill him, and then like all people who have tried to kill Steven Seagal before, they learn the hard way that there's just no way. It's about 88 people have tried before, and that was just in the previous movie. So you're out of luck here. He's like Jason Voorhees, but with a ponytail at this point still, and and then he has a very calm environmentalist. I love animals, don't hurt them. He's breaking arms and stuff, and it's just amusing to watch, I think. But no, it's a cool action movie. I watched it as a kid, and I watched that one, and I just after that I went back and sought out a lot of his movies, and I just enjoy the heck of it. I have fond memories of the film. So and apparently I was the only one who ever saw it, so the guy didn't remember Randy Travis right there. So
if I saw this, I have completely forgotten about it, so I don't honestly. Oh, Stephen Lang was in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had a role, and he's and then you just recognize a lot of people in these movies because he was still a pretty big, at the time, a pretty heavy box office draw. So they would get really solid supporting casts in those movies, and cool movie. I think a Spanish director did it, Felix something, but
Felix Enriquez.
I'm gonna pull. I'm not even gonna try and butcher the name because I don't remember it. So
yeah, he was. He who is he? He's he's American, but
is he
probably Latino in ethnicity?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he made a solid film, and I like to give a shout out to that one whenever I can.
All right.
But I won't say it's the best movie ever made, but I'll just say it's enjoyable.
Fun. Yeah, I get it.
And that's always what I love to do on these talks. So no one really judge my appreciation of film, because I'm not going for the best quality film or the longest lasting legacy. My thing is I always like to say, hey, it's a movie I enjoyed the heck out of, and I just come back to it all the time.
Fun? That's kind of like my gauge as well for it. So.
Yeah.
Did anyone mention Event Horizon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I mentioned it because I had done a reaction to it. I had done a poll. I think it was sometime last year, and Event Horizon won. So that was my first movie reaction. I think that was the first time I'd seen it. Yeah, and it was good. It was dark.
Oh yeah, it was good. Like Hellraiser, man. But
I was getting to really hate Sam Neill. I just was like, why are they letting him just run off? They know he's trouble, and he's just there. He is going. Nobody's watching him.
But he stole the show in that movie. Like when he went total, like at the end, with his eyes,
Yeah, he was crazy in there.
But you could tell he was having fun with the role, playing like a wink at the camera villain. You know what I mean? Like those are the best roles to me. It reminds me of like Billy Zane, not to that camp extent, like in Demon Knight, but like where you can just tell that they've just thrown themselves into this and they're just having a blast. And to me, those are the best performances to watch. They don't have to be the most what's the word? I'm drawing a blank here, but they just when they just dive into that stuff and have a great time doing it, it translates well. It makes it so that we enjoy it as I love that. So.
Yeah, it was a fun film. Oh, you haven't seen it, Jeff? Okay.
Ooh.
Well,
yeah,
maybe
97.
Good
night. Big, massive year.
It was just a lot.
Actually,
I saw Event Horizon when I was 12 in theaters, just before sixth grade started. So I was probably too young to see that movie.
A little bit, probably.
Probably.
We saw it in theaters. We were going to go see. It was either that one or I think Jerry Maguire. Was that 97?
Oh,
no, or was that
I
96?
think it was maybe 96. Yeah.
Okay, I get it confused thinking back. So it was either like Jerry Maguire, Absolute Power. They were adult movies that I probably shouldn't. I mean, this was the worst choice to pick. Is what the point I'm making. 'Cause I mean, I wouldn't if I knew going in there or like as a parent, I would not let my 12-year-old watch that. But,
Absolute Power. Arturo watched that in preparation. It was one of the mini films he watched in preparation for this live stream.
Yeah, then it was Absolute Power. That's right. But that was a good movie. I liked Absolute Power.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And it was just mature in content, but that was like it's not really a bad R-rated movie. But
not as horrific as like Event Horizon.
Right. That scene, man, when Jack Noseworthy goes out into space and his eyes start bleeding, that thing still bugs me. Like, it's just cringy, man. Like,
Is that the first guy that something happened to him?
yeah, he was the young, handsome
The
looking
younger
fellow.
guy. And
Yeah.
then I remember there was another guy that was a little comedic actually. He gets stuck out in space too, and then he's headed toward the ship and like but too fast or something, and he's gonna crash into it.
Oh,
It was something funny with him, and I was like, I hope this guy does not die because I liked him. But it was funny. I wasn't expecting that comedy.
Well, you gotta think that was the director who did like Mortal Kombat and
Oh, that was him.
yeah, and he did like the Resident Evils and.
When I watched it for the reaction, I was watching it on Amazon. No, I was watching it on IMDb because it was free at the time, and it took me quite a while to finish the whole movie. But there was a lot of trivia that they were showing while I was watching it, and I kept getting sidetracked by reading the trivia. And so I was reading about how he wanted to make it was like he originally wanted it to be so much longer.
Yeah,
and he had to cut it down, and then I think he eventually wanted to like release his what he really wanted it to be, but the footage did it get burned or did something happen and the quality is.
There's been conflicting stories that I've heard like over the years because it was one of those things that kind of became an urban legend. You'd read about in old like Fangoria magazines talking about the original cut of Event Horizon, all these blood orgies and hell and all this nasty stuff that couldn't make the cut, but I'd heard that it had got lost and it got burned in like one of their storage fires because a lot of times they take that footage and they stick them in like salt mines. They just rent out a mine and they'll just dump old footage in there. And I heard it got lost in something like that. And then I also heard that he had a VHS copy because a lot of directors will keep old VHS tape versions of their stuff. Because I don't buy that. I think he still has it because I never buy these directors. Oh yeah, I had my cut. Threw it away, didn't care. It's like, no, these guys are in it heart, blood, and soul. They're sweating tears over this stuff. They don't just throw it away, So I think he probably has a cut, to be honest. But and then it's a headache to restore a lot of that old VHS footage. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's can be very tedious because that stuff can be destroyed depending on how it was stored.
How it was stored, exactly.
Yeah. The Scream Factory released that Friday the 13th box set last year. Or whatever, and they kind of give a little bit of detail on how patient and painstakingly delicate they had to be to preserve this footage they found of Friday the 13th Part 2. The special effects guy had found these scenes that were supposedly lost forever, but he had a VHS reel of his work that he'd kept, and he found it stored up in his attic for almost 40 years now. And they had to take the VHS apart and then bake it and then bake it again and then put it back together to preserve. And I mean, it's really like, oh my, because if you were just putting a VCR and it eats it, you're done for. It's gone forever. You know what I mean? So anyways, that's a little bit of side note there, but I think I think one day we'll see the Event Horizon stuff. That stuff doesn't usually stay buried forever,
Yeah, I guess we'll see. It would be nice to see something because it would be nice to see a little bit of a longer version of it.
I'm assuming most people have seen that movie because I'm the only one that has not.
Well, Jeff in the chat has not seen. Okay, Joe hasn't seen it. Yeah.
And if there's any consolation, that guy got sucked out the airlock. That's not what would happen to your body. So.
Yeah. You just die instantly.
Wouldn't you just like freeze instantly or something?
No, you wouldn't actually freeze. There's no medium to take the heat away. No, there's no medium to take the heat away. There's no air or water. So the only thing you're left with is radiative heat, which is a very, very slow process. Also, you wouldn't explode. You'd maybe just swell up a bit, but that'd be about it.
I love it when they explode. It just looks cool.
It looks cool, but
I know.
Sounds like it would be pretty horrible way to die.
So I guess should we move on to the shows of '97?
Yeah, there were some. I haven't even pulled up shows, honestly.
Well, King of the Hill.
Head
King
out.
of the Hill.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no problem, Joe.
But thanks for having me. I enjoyed it as usual.
Thanks for joining us, Joe.
Joe.
Thank you.
Have a good one,
Take
Joe.
care, Joe. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, King of the Hill.
Oh, he froze again. Oh, okay, there he is. King of the Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There were some
or-
other things that were mentioned.
I think you're burying the lead. South Park.
Yeah, South Park looms
Oh,
over
that's-
everything.
Yeah, I heard about
Oh,
that.
Beyond.
South Park.
Oh, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Okay, I've heard of that. I don't
And
remember.
then
if I-
there's QZ. Looks like a prison show. HBO Max has it.
Oz.
Is that what it's called?
Oz. Oh, he said QZ. It's OZ, Oz.
Oh, okay. Well, there
I've
was
never
there was
seen
a
that.
line
I've
at the
never seen
bottom.
it.
It looked like a Q.
Was 97 when Space Above and Beyond came out?
I don't. Is that a show? I don't have.
It was a
those
TV
pulled
show
up.
for like one season. It was a big budget sci-fi one on Fox. I don't know what year that was. I know it was the 90s.
Clicking on one of the links that.
A few animes
Simon
that
put
came
up.
out, but Batman Beyond came out. Or
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
yeah.
Midsummer.
Oh.
Okay, so South Park is listed at.
Wait.
Midsummer Murders is listed as number 1. Like
Wait,
My
the first-
mom just found that show on Netflix. Well, they took it off
Wait.
Netflix, but she
Oh,
watched
actually, never
the hell
mind.
out of that
It
show.
was the new
I
Batman.
haven't
Adventures.
watched it yet. Sorry, Artur. We're talking about all these different things.
I was just saying. Okay, it was the new Batman Adventures that came out, but when did Beyond come out?
Ally McBeal came out in 97.
Oh, was that? That's far back.
Callista Flockhart, man, I remember she was.
Harrison
Oh.
Ford's
Oh.
future wife.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know, right?
In my head canon, when Harrison Ford is frisky, Callista Flockhart puts him down by saying, belongs in the museum.
Oh, stop it.
That's funny.
La Femme.
Yeah, I
Nikita?
used to watch that
La
actually
Femme
because it was
Nikita.
La Femme Nikita. Oh, yeah, the one with Peter Wilson. Peter, is that her name?
Well, yeah.
I that's the one I used to watch. I like that show. It was
That was
fun.
on USA, wasn't it?
I think so, and I have all the seasons on DVD. That was a cool, and that was a remake of La Femme Nikita. That was, I don't remember who directed that one. Was that who directed the original one, the French language one?
Wasn't it Luc Besson?
I was wondering if that was him, but I wasn't sure. I think it is. But then they did a remake with Bridget Fonda in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was loud.
Sorry.
Point of No Return.
Uh,
was it, or-
You see, yeah, Point of No Return, and then of course they did the TV show, and then they did another version of the TV show called Nikita.
I'm so sorry.
Colin, you are being
I've hit pause. The YouTube is not listening to
it's
me.
not listening.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's done. It's
they did another one called Nikita, and I think that's the one with Maggie Q in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was never interested in that one. I like the TV show, the one from back in the 90s. That one was fun. But yeah, so South Park. Getting back to South Park.
I remember a lot of people didn't couldn't watch South Park. So I remember when there was that big, I don't know what happened, but like maybe you know more because you were an adult, Sam, but in the late 90s when like something happened where all of a sudden you got all these like cable expanded to like 60 channels or 80 channels or whatever that was. And then that was the only way that we over here got Comedy Central.
Okay.
Which had South Park. So otherwise, like in 97, there was no way to watch it unless you had like satellite or whatever it was. I don't know what
channel
exactly.
did it air on?
Comedy Central.
Oh, Comedy Central. Oh, yeah, right. You just saying that.
For us, that was channel 60 over here. I don't know
No,
what.
yeah, I don't remember what it was here. We didn't get TV until like 99. And I was never really into South Park. But there are
Well, it was
some
cool because they could swear on it and they could kill
Yeah.
Kenny all the time, and that was kind of.
I've told some people before, but there's this one episode where I don't know who the guy is. I don't know the different characters, but there's this one guy who decides he wants to try to find out like China's plan for dominating the world. And he decides he's going to go to a Chinese restaurant and pose as a Chinese person. And,
Oh, that's
and
so
he,
bad.
have you seen it?
You got the buck teeth.
And he has it like that. He has like
the most
chopsticks in his
racist
teeth or
looking-
something. Yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
and he goes in there and he's telling whoever's coming with him.
Oh,
He said like basically like
Hello.
just say hello and please a lot. And so
Hello,
hello please, and that tickled me so much because my brothers were telling me about that. and the way they were really over exaggerating how it was done. So for the longest time, and actually even today, when my brothers and I talk to each other on the phone, our greeting is often, "Oh, hello, Pete."
That's awesome.
My brother Timothy called me today, and so that's what, when I answer, it's like, "Hello," he said, "Oh, hello, Pete," and he said, "You know what? I hope that like in years in the future, if ever I'm famous for my writing, they don't like dig up these phone calls and wonder what's wrong with these people."
Oh no.
Hello.
Well, you've just broadcasted to the internet.
No, I
Everyone
have.
knows.
Yeah, you
Yep,
did.
Tim, everybody's gonna know. It's just funny. It's just, I don't know. There's something about that. Just
That show
always
is
struck me
great.
funny.
They pushed a lot of those. Like I wish we still had shows, and like that. You know, I know it's still around, but where they would go against whatever was politically correct. They would deliberately push back against it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was just that mentality of, well, if you're offended, you're offended. We're going to make jokes about it. And, you know, just no matter how much you screeched that it was horrible, hate speech, race, blah, blah. It's just kind of like, well, okay, well, cool. The more you yell, we're just going to keep making episodes about it.
Right.
And I love shows like that, man. And I wish, you know, this time where it's gotten really heavy handed, you know, point in time, where everyone's just, you know, it's offended. Oh, I can't say that. And, you know, and, but they've kept going with it. Like I remember, did you watch more recent episodes of South Park where they had like the
they're still super offensive. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, and they don't like draw the line at where, you know, they're
No, I love one of the recent ones when like anytime there was gunfire, like, oh, it's a school shooting, like
yeah,
like yeah.
How they play,
what is
yeah.
this a reference to about don't forget to bring a towel? What's that?
Don't forget to bring a towel. That's Towley.
Towley.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You won't get high.
There's a video that I have in my to watch list, and it's something about why South Park never got, like, why the creators of South Park, or why South Park itself never got canceled, you know, like as in canceled the way people are canceled. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm curious.
Well, usually those people that you've seen a lot today, where the rebels, the anti-authority, you know, we'll say whatever we want. You can't cancel us type. But they didn't call it canceling back then, you know. But you know, you see a lot of the old rebels against authority in 2020, 21 have turned into bootlickers.
Part of the establishment,
Yeah, you know,
supportive
fuck you. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like where they, sorry about the vulgarity, but it just reminds me of the Rage Against the Machine one where, you know, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And then now you look at them and they're like, fuck you, do what they tell you.
Do what they tell you, yeah. Exactly.
And you're like, oh, you guys kind of went
really
full circle on that one, huh?
Rebels. You were just posing.
Right. Yeah. Now we rage for the machine, but these guys, you know, they've always been like that. And then I like it didn't feel like they were particularly, you know, some of the rebels you see, they're only rebels so long as whatever power, like say in the 90s, you had the heavy-handed Christian right conservative stereotype. They oppose that, right? But then when the pendulum swings the other way, it becomes the heavy-handed social leftists. All of a sudden, they're like, well, yeah, do what they tell you. And you're like, no, now you're not really a rebel, man. You don't mind power so long as it's stuff you agree with.
The power that you agree with, yeah.
Right, and that's what you kind of saw their true colors here. But the South Park guys, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, they didn't go that way. They were always kind of like, I always make fun of everyone and call it as we see it, you know, and that's what I appreciate. I'm fair game with that. I love that stuff. And
they're equal opportunity offender, huh?
Everybody, man. If you saw Team America World Police,
I did see that actually.
Where they made fun of the anti-war people as much as they did everyone else, which if you remember, you don't make fun of Hollywood back then. I mean, that was just, you know, Hollywood was off limits, and they had that fag film actors guild, you know. It's just nowadays, could you picture anyone doing that nowadays? Holy shit. It would, I mean, heads would explode, you know. And
it caused a stir, though. I remember it caused kind of a stir when it came out.
Oh, well, yeah, because that was also when you couldn't, if you critiqued the war, then you were anti-American. But then if you love war, you know, 5 years later, you were a terrible person. You couldn't win, you know. So.
Oh wait, was Matt Damon in there? Wait.
Matt Damon. That's all. You know, he just was like, he looked like a retard. Whoops.
Yeah,
he did, like his puppet. And I love that the Michael Moore puppet on there that became like the terrorist or whatever. I love the puppet was so disgusting. Like the puppet jiggled too. Like it was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
The marionette.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I just remember it's like, this movie is insane.
But that's 2004. We can get to there at some point, but
Oh, yeah, we're jumping way.
sorry, but no, it's just the
Yeah.
South Park guys, man. Like I couldn't believe, like I still love to watch the episode. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but with the trans athlete Heather Swanson,
I've seen all
who is
of them.
basically Macho Man
Oh.
Randy Savage, and he's like joining all these women's competitions, like
Girl
beating
power
the
or
shit.
something?
He's always like, "Yeah, I'm Heather Swanson," and he goes, "I just transitioned into a woman," and he's just sitting there just kicking the shit out of all these women at like their female
When did
Olympics
this come
and
out?
stuff.
This must have been something recent, right?
Yeah, 2019, and
Oh,
and
okay.
of course, like you can expect, the Guardian and Huffington Post and everyone just like, shit bricks about it, saying it's
yeah.
not funny, and
Yeah.
you're just like, no, actually, it was freaking hilarious, but okay.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying it's great that they're not, just bowing to the machine. If the pendulum swings, their humor swings with it, so
Yeah. Exactly.
kudos to South Park. We need to keep shows like that alive with, not go Family Guy with Seth MacFarlane. That one used to be super edgy, and then now you see it and it's just I don't know, it's not the same, man.
No, I never really watched that one. I think it's the art style of both of those that had kind of just like made me not super yeah, I know the super
You would rather watch anime than
I'd rather watch anime than
There were some pretty good animes that came out, in the
Berserk
90s.
actually came out, Arturo.
Yeah, Berserk. I bought like 4 of the DVDs. I haven't even watched. They're still sitting.
Anti-snowflakeism. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments.
There's a few animes here on.
Yeah, it was.
Scooter. Oh
Yeah,
god.
that game's awesome.
And then has anybody seen Cow and Chicken? Because I remember when that was on Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah, I remember that show. I never watched it, but I remember it.
Yeah,
The
that.
Practice came out in '97.
There's only 2 shows I remember. Well, 3 because King of the Hill, but I wasn't that big a fan. There's only 2 shows I really watched, and South Park's one, and Tenacious D is the other one. Which
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned Batman Beyond, but I think that was the New Adventures of Batman, or the new Batman Adventures, where he had like the black suit, not Batman Beyond, but like the black cape.
Oh, Johnny Bravo came out in '97, and you know what else came out in '97 that I wish would just die already is The View.
Oh God.
I hate
Yeah.
that show.
Here. I second that.
Power Rangers. There were some Power Rangers that came out, and
Oh, the Spawn. The
Spawn.
Spawn anime.
Oh yeah, that was on HBO thing. I remember that.
That was pretty good actually. There
Oh,
were a
and
lot of shows.
Daria, I watched that when it was on.
What was that, Colin?
The MTV cartoon about a girl, like a dorky girl with glasses.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, does anybody
Stargate
know?
SG-1 came out in '97.
Oh yeah.
A lot of shows.
I liked SG-1, man. I thought it was a pretty cool show.
Pokemon.
Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
A
Yeah.
lot of.
Yeah, I think South Park, though, I second that with, Trey Parker, he's credited as the writer and director of every single episode, which is like 200-300.
Wow.
I don't know anyone else that's got that kind of consistently quality output. Like, so many
And
people.
they're still going.
Like, so many people
Right.
try to make it in the comedy world, and they've just stayed there. Like, they've continued to be funny
Benjamin
for
Franklin.
decades, which is really a lot of talent.
Well, those shows don't tell you. They also have they have teams and teams of ghost writers who make a lot of the humor. It's not,
Well,
it's not all.
He writes every piece of dialogue. I get it, but he contributes
Right.
a lot on every.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. He stuck with it, man. It's freaking awesome. I'm with you. Yeah.
Has anybody here ever heard of Tenchi Muyo? Who used to be on Tsunami?
Mm-mm.
No.
Tenchi, okay, there was one called Tenchi in Tokyo that came out this year.
You know what else came out in '97? Teletubbies.
Oh,
Jeez. Arturo,
The
you
purple
used to
one
watch-
was
You-
quite a controversy, if you recall. The one
Yeah.
with the
was
one
that
that said it
Pinky
was.
Winky?
I just remember that you had some old crickety old people. Oh, he's a euphemism for a gay Teletubby.
Yeah,
And you're
I
like,
remember that. Yeah.
really? I didn't see.
but-
Okay.
I remember the talk about that, but Arturo, that's the story of Teletubbies, and Arturo was when I had Aurelia, Arturo was starting to get into Teletubbies.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I got tapes for him, and he would watch them and watch them. And he even brought them to the hospital for Aurelia to see after she was born.
Oh,
It was so cute. But then my grandfather, my mom's dad, I
Your
actually
great grandfather.
your my it was
Okay,
my
no, your grand. Yeah,
my grandfather,
My
your great
great-grandfather.
grandfather. I
Yeah.
used this in a movie review I recently did. I think in reference to the Green Knight. But so we played this one time, and Apapa was here, and for some reason he sat in the room and viewed the whole tape with us because we were playing it for you. And when it was done, he said, "I don't know what's dumber, that thing or me watching it." It was just so funny. I
That's
never
pretty good.
forgot that one. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cute.
He was like growing up at a. I mean, he was getting.
I can't believe he sat there and watched it either.
Yeah, like he was seeing all this like stuff coming out.
It was crazy.
Way
That
past
show
his
was so
age.
annoying. Yeah, annoying like Caillou, but probably worse than Caillou.
The Sun Baby from the Teletubbies is now a 26-year-old woman with a baby of her own.
That was a little girl. I didn't know. I couldn't tell because it was just a little baby face. I couldn't tell. That's so cute.
I heard
Did
that the
they-
guy that played the purple Teletubby, he died a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That was Tinky Winky, right? The purple.
Was
Why
that
am
what
I
he was
even
from?
repeating their names? Oh my god.
how do you remember them? Is what I want to know.
Oh, Scooter.
He's still letting out
Jeez,
the
it is
gas.
right here underneath earlier he was across the room and it wafted over here.
Oh,
Right now he's in front of me and it's wafting right up. Poor Scooter.
Burn a
Oh.
candle, it'll help.
Probably it would. I don't have a candle. I should just bring a box of matches in here and just light them every time. Poor Scooter.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay.
His farts stink really bad.
They always have stunk really bad, and he's really laying them on right now. It's okay. I'll miss his farts when he's gone. Oh, sweet Scooter.
on that note, I think I'm gonna call it for the night.
All right, Colin.
Yeah.
I mentioned all my shows. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, it's on up there.
Well,
it's almost 11:30
98
here. So.
We'll be around the corner next, boys.
Okay, so what films do you think Arturo
Oh.
should check out in '98?
Yeah, I always forgot.
Like just off the top of your head, or
Big Lebowski.
I don't want to.
Big Lebowski.
Oh, that's when that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'98.
and no one saw it, man.
I've never seen it.
You
No,
should watch
seriously,
it.
when it came out, man, it was just a forgotten little film. No one cared. It wasn't until like the mid 2000s it got it to do, but
It's
check
like
it out,
a-
man. I just
this-
rewatched it. I bought the 4K Blu-ray. Like, I'm not kidding. Like last Sunday.
Oh, of course you did.
The
Saw it
Truman
in
Show
theaters because
came
I'm
out?
cool.
You know,
What's
rest
that?
in peace. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. His movie Dirty Work is really
Oh
funny.
yeah.
Oh,
And I think
okay.
it
Never
might be
saw it.
free on YouTube. I don't know.
The Truman Show came out in '98.
Yeah, it was '98
good.
also.
Arturo, have you seen Saving Private Ryan?
Parts of
We
it.
were talking about that. No, we
I mean,
haven't
that's
seen
like
it
the
all
best
way.
war movie. If you like World War II, that's the best World War II movie.
Yeah,
I was
it's a good one.
suggesting to my mom whether or not she was interested in one to watch that one.
I always hesitate about
The
that
Thin
one.
Red Line's a beautiful one that came out right at the same time as Saving Private Ryan. It's by Terrence Malick.
I
What,
love Terrence
The
Malick.
Thin
Yeah.
Red Line.
I
The
think
Thin Red
Line's
Line.
I think Thin Red
wait.
Line a better movie, but it's a lot less accessible.
Yeah, agreed.
Wait, is that the one with? Is that the one with? Okay.
Everyone?
Everyone, yeah.
Wait, what's it? That's not the one with Michael J. Fox in it, is it?
No, that's Casualties of War. You're thinking, but that's like
Oh, okay,
1988
okay.
or something like
Okay.
that.
Oh,
What's-
Enemy of State.
What's the Thin Red Line about?
It's a World War II movie, but it's much more like contemplative, which is pretty unique for a war movie.
Oh,
It's
really?
Yeah.
not about the action; it's about the. It's hard to describe.
The human drama.
It's very philosophical, like with war, they always contending being a part of nature, conflict. And they're storming an island in was it Guadalcanal?
Who's in that?
Everyone.
Oh,
Yeah, Terrence
Okay,
Malick's an
okay.
awesome director.
cast,
He makes
okay.
really like
The red.
thoughtful movies.
and there's a lot of little roles in there with like big names like Woody Harrelson, John Cusack, John Travolta.
Two lines of dialogue. John Travolta has like 2 lines of dialogue. Or
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So big.
George
big name
Clooney
cameos.
pops up for like the last 5 minutes, and this is in '98 when he was, sexiest man
Jared
alive type
Leto?
stuff, and Jared Leto, yeah, Nick Stahl, Jared
wow.
Leto's. I mean, seriously, you look at it and you're just going to be like, oh, and there's another person. Oh, I know him, and
Oh, wow.
John C. Reilly, Sean Penn, Jim Caviezel. I mean, it's keep going on and on and on.
Wow.
So
2
I
World War
don't
II
think I've ever
movies.
seen this movie.
it's just a beautiful film. Like you watch it, and it's just like it's really it's a touching movie. So.
Yeah, I
But,
agree.
There's a lot of people in.
And
here.
98's got a lot. You know, a movie that's good. Might not get I don't know how popular it is, but it's really good. Action movie is Ronin.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Is that Robert De Niro?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
saw
like
that.
it a lot.
I seen
Jean
Rush
Reno.
Hour.
Gene
I've seen
Reno.
Rush Hour.
Oh,
Rush
Rush Hour,
Hour.
yeah.
Rush Hour's good. Also, Rushmore. If you like Wes Anderson, that was the movie that really kind of put him into the spotlight. It's a really good movie too. I really like.
Yeah, with Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman and yeah, that was a good one. 98's when I really
Oh,
paid
The
attention to film.
Faculty.
Yeah. That's Josh Hartnett and of course Halloween
Yeah.
H2O.
Oh yeah, Halloween H2O.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one too.
I know
So
you've
I've
seen that.
Okay, I've seen 2 movies. I've seen Rush Hour and Halloween
And
2.0.
Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels was 98.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Jason
that's
Statham right there. Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, Private
Ritchie.
Ryan was.
Okay,
was
definitely.
And actually, I was
oh,
gonna mention
I haven't seen that one.
Pleasantville. Pleasantville's kind of
Yeah,
cheesy,
Pleasantville.
but it's a feel good. It's one of those. I like it, even though I usually don't like those kind of cheesy movies. I like it, and the same with Blast from the Past with
Oh yeah.
Brendan Fraser. It's a cheesy movie, but a cheesy feel good, but it works for me.
I think I saw
Yeah, with Brendan
Pleasantville after
Fraser and-
Spider-Man had come out.
Oh wait,
Alicia
Arturo, haven't you
Silverstone.
seen Blade? Right.
Oh yeah,
Blade was
that's another
98.
one.
That's right.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So you saw Blade and Lock, Stock too.
No,
then-
I haven't seen Lock, Stock. I don't think Arturo's seen it either. Have you? I don't
What?
think you've
I
seen
thought you
Lock,
guys
Stock.
talked about it.
Not Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels.
Not
No,
seen
we
that?
were talking about Guy Ritchie, but I
We-
haven't seen that.
We were talking about
I think Lock, Stock might be his best movie.
The Gentleman and Snatch,
I
and
still need to
geez, what
see,
else?
Wrath of
But
Man.
I
still
don't
need to see
think.
Wrath of Man.
Oh, you haven't
Oh,
seen
Wrath
that?
of Man's
Yeah,
awesome,
Wrath
man.
of Man.
Lock,
So
Stock. Oh, I think that's his
Yeah,
best.
So
no.
to be honest, 98 doesn't seem to have a lot that that 97 has.
We'll
like,
definitely
it-
watch Lock, Stock. You got it.
Yeah, I definitely want to because it's Guy Ritchie. So this motivates me because the 98 discussion is coming up.
Basketball was 98.
Oh,
Yeah.
Baseball's good. Yeah,
What
Dirty
was?
Work and Basketball. Trey Parker, Matt Stone.
Oh,
Well, they did a live action thing, as opposed to.
okay.
I swear to God, you guys do
Oh.
that
Air Bud Golden
13 or
Receiver.
14 more times.
Oh, yeah.
Another Air Bud.
hmm
Oh,
I got that
also,
VHS for Christmas that year. I got Air Bud Gold. I got it for Christmas. I remember.
So I wonder which one we should start on first.
They did a Psycho remake in 98.
Also,
Oh, with
his
Vince
meteor,
Vaughn. Yeah.
Instead of volcanoes, it was meteors. They had Armageddon and Deep Impact. 2 meteors.
Yeah.
Oh, Armageddon. Okay, that was 98.
Yeah, and
Alright.
Lethal Weapon 4.
Biggest movie.
Oh, Arturo, you haven't even seen Lethal Weapon
Urban
3
Legend.
yet.
Yeah.
No. That's the 4th one that came out.
Oh, Babe Pig in the City.
Oh,
Part
I
2.
remember watching that as a kid a little bit.
The Rugrats movie. Enemy of the
Oh.
State. That's a fun movie.
Rugrats.
I like
oh,
that
yeah.
movie.
Rugrats. I remember.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
I used to like that movie.
Did any of you see Disturbing Behavior?
I don't know.
Yes,
No.
I've seen that. I've seen that on it's been playing on. Is that Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nick Stahl. Yeah. And
Yeah.
James Marsden before he became. That was like his first real big role.
Cyclops before he became Cyclops.
Right. Yeah. And that's a good one. I
remember
I
Urban Legend. Yeah.
I saw Urban Legend twice on theaters. I saw it Halloween weekend in '98, and then I saw Halloween H2O the next on Halloween Day in '98. That was kind of cool. But yeah, Urban Legend, good one. That one's got a lot of Jared Leto's in that. Tara Reid.
Oh dang! I forgot Jared Leto was in that one. I just
Rebecca
remember
Gayheart. The
I
Noxema
remember
girl.
Noxema girl, and also Robert Englund, right?
Yeah,
Was he
yeah,
in there?
and
Was John Bon Jovi in there too? No. I'm getting that mixed up with Cry Wolf. Sorry.
John Bon Jovi was in Vampires Los Muertos #2.
Yeah, but he was also in a movie called Cry Wolf. I think.
Right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was him.
He's tried to act over the years, so he's
Yeah.
dipped in his finger in there. But
I think that was
yeah.
the first time I saw him in a movie.
Well, since we're still talking about
Vampire, so-
97, did you know the Noxema girl was also in Scream 2?
I forgot she was in Scream too.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've watched that all the way through.
But yeah, Vampires. Check out John Carpenter's Vampires,
yeah, I was
man.
just noticing that's actually pretty decent. I'm getting excited about 98 already.
Yeah, 98 was a really good, I thought, at least for me, maybe it's just my
Soldier.
sentimentality kicking in, but
So-
98 was a really good year for film. And then 99, I thought was even better. Like, it was like 99 was such a great year for movies. And
Yeah, I think that's Simon's favorite year, 99. So Life is Beautiful is mentioned that it came out in 98.
it was a foreign film, wasn't it? I thought it was.
Maybe
Well,
that's
we were-
why.
We were talking about that for 97. Okay,
I
well
guess-
maybe
So I remember when he won the Oscar, Robert
Benigni?
Benigni or Panini, whatever.
I think it's Benigni. I remember
I know,
him
it's-
we were talking about that, how he did that and walked over the step.
Remember,
the
he was
back
supposed to
of the
be
chair.
the Clouseau
Yep.
he's supposed to take the mantle for the
That's
Pink
right.
Panthers.
So Arturo, I would say Lock, Stock, and Saving Private Ryan. And I would
Yeah,
hope
I'm
you
trying to
would
figure out
watch
what we
Lebowski.
start on first. Should we get the depressing two films out of the way first, or
Yeah.
jump into the jolly good old ones?
I have been just very hesitant about.
Well, I
Saving
already
Private
know what
Ryan.
happens.
I think it's because I know what happens.
Yeah, like I skimmed around that movie so much that I kind of know the gist, but I have not watched it from beginning to like a few years ago or so. When I was watching it, I was kind of young, but we had this DVD that would censor things.
Yep.
When I saw
Yeah.
the D-Day part, it censored some of the bloody gore stuff. Within a
It's
few
very.
years, yeah, like a few years ago, I kind of saw some of the clips and the carnage.
It's really sad to watch too. Like, I mean, like as it should be, but I mean, like it's pretty. I mean, I remember even as a kid watching it and just being like heartbroken with some of the stuff going on there. Just horrible wartime stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that said, it's still a great movie. Like it's Steven Spielberg's expert piece. It's
But
something.
for some reason, I still always prefer Band of Brothers.
Oh,
That's just me, but I don't know.
That's because it had David Schwimmer in it, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe because it was
Yeah.
it had. I guess.
Oh, you say sorry, Colin. Here we're keeping you.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
See ya.
Take care,
It's
Colin.
number
Fun.
98.
Thanks
See
for
you.
A lot of
joining
fun.
us.
I'll be back for 98 for sure.
All righty.
Take care. everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's because it showed a lot more of that war from the 101st Airborne Division's perspective. I guess. I don't know.
Well, Thin Red Line is actually there's obviously violence and stuff, but it's not to the degree of Saving Private Ryan, where there's like a scene of a guy carrying his own arm around, and it's just
Oh
horrible.
yeah, I saw that clip.
That was just heartbreak, But
Yeah,
I mean, then
like,
that's
the
war,
D-Day.
but
Yeah, the D-Day scene was accurate, like top notch, accurate to how bad the carnage was.
Right.
I definitely could give it credits to that.
I really think you should check out Thin Red Line. It's like 3 hours long, but I mean,
Damn.
and he cut it down by like 2 hours, so it was an even longer movie. But there's some really good dialogue. It's just a really heartfelt, philosophical movie. I really recommend it. I just love that movie, and Hans Zimmer's score is amazing. And
Oh,
Oh, Hans Zimmer's a really good composer.
and then some of the themes he's made were reused for like a lot of trailers, and like Man of Steel used it in the trailer. And it's just
Oh.
you might even recognize some of the music. It's been so repurposed over the years. But
Goodness, which reminds me, I got to get back to Blood Plus because he did music for that.
Yeah. Arturo's impressed that he did music for an anime.
oh yeah, cool. That shows a lot of versatility. I think it's good
Yeah.
when they can cross genres like that, and
You could kind of tell it's somewhat his work. But yeah, so Mom, we could always go through the more depressing films, like Saving Private Ryan, and then get to the jolly good.
Well, speaking of Jackie Brown, so the next movie that came out that has that character of Michael Keaton came out the next year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, out of sight.
Yeah, with
Mhm.
your favorite, your idol, J-Ho, J-Lo. Sorry.
Not at all.
Well,
I know
my
you love her.
mom.
You just
I know.
she's a great
the
example for young women.
Sure. The X-Files, actually, the movie. The X-Files movie came out
That's
in
right.
98.
Fight the
Oh,
future.
really?
Yeah. Mulan.
Oh,
I'm seeing a whole lot of films, actually, that...
98 was a
bits of
good
Mulan.
year, man. Like, it really was. And
feel
don't
like I
I mentioned it, but do you ever see Lethal Weapon 4?
I've seen it, but Arturo has only seen the first two. So I feel
I
like
saw
in
that
order
in
to
theaters
appreciate
when
the
I was in
fourth one-
Hawaii, man, as a kid, and I just thought it was
I bet it
so
was fun.
cool. And yeah, it was hilarious. And there was, like, you were talking about
the horse was...
how you say hero, to the
Yeah.
hero. Well, remember that's where I remember Mel Gibson going "flied lice," making fun of
Oh,
them, and as a kid I would
that.
start saying that, and that's cancel worthy now. But I don't mind,
Yeah,
full
it would
disclosure.
be.
I remember in that movie, like they played it on television. I just remember where they were talking to this guy that was like at the dentist, and
Yeah.
the laughing gas either kind of got out, and they all started laughing.
Mm-hmm. But Uncle Benny, yeah, that was a funny scene. And remember Chris Rock was in there, and he's beating the one guy, and he's like reading him his Miranda rights, and he's like whatever he's saying, and he keeps hitting him or whatever, and he's like, and you have a right to an attorney, and if you get Johnny Cochran, I'll kill you, and it's just. It was a funny movie.
It's been so long since I've seen that. It would be like watching it over again for the first time.
But what's cool when I saw that?
The Horse Whisperer. I was just going to answer the question. I saw it only once. I completely forgot that Scarlett Johansson was in that movie. Completely forgot.
Yeah.
Young here has played Castlevania.
I enjoyed it. Okay, I thought it was kind of a sad-ish type of film, but I just saw it the one time. So. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, who here played
Arthur?
Castlevania Symphony of the Night? That came out in '97.
Oh, I remember that game.
Oh, that would not be me.
I didn't play it, but I remember it. I was really into video games at the time. I had like Sega Saturn, and then I had 64, and I remember buying all the Game Pro and Tips and Tricks, and kind of being really magazines, they used to have everywhere. And that was a fun period in time for at least when I was a kid. But
I mean, I've been really into the '90s lately. Just games, movies, anime.
You know what I feel about the '90s? It feels to me. So I was kind of thinking about the comparison between movies in the '80s and movies in the '90s. So the '80s had really, for the most part, good, creative, original films, and the '90s, I feel like they had that as well, but I think by the time the 90s came around, they got a little bit better at the technical stuff, like the audio and the way certain things were filmed. So like in the 80s, a lot of times the audio isn't always so great, or maybe the way they captured a shot wasn't the greatest. But like by the 90s, it feels like it's a little bit more refined while at the same time, the good stories are still there. If that makes any sense. I don't know. Like the technical stuff got a little better.
I think they were able to tell different stories too, like things that would have been, I don't know, like Independence Day. Remember what a big to do that was?
Yeah.
And that was and they still use old school effects where they did, miniatures and matte paintings and rotoscoping, all that stuff. But that was where they really got to showcase what a lot of computer stuff could do. And that was a big defining part in my mind of the 90s stuff, was like continually being wowed by movies that would come out and be like, oh, wow, that was kind of, did you see the special effects in that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And nowadays, I can't remember the last time a movie actually like wowed me in that sense. It's like you just kind of, another movie. Oh, it looks good. Sure, they all look good. You know what I mean? It's kind of passe. But
speaking of special effects, Arturo and I recently went to go see the 35th anniversary of Labyrinth.
Labyrinth,
and was reminded of that owl being the very first like digital special effect that was done or something like that.
I've come a long way from that.
Yeah. That was fun watching that again.
Well, so if you guys go see Labyrinth, then you're going to go see Transformers, right?
Actually, we are thinking about, we might do that.
Oh, I really hope you like that one. That's one of the favorite movies, one of my childhood movies.
I've not seen it yet. Arturo, do you know if Matt's going to be able to go see it, or do you want me to just
I got to ask him.
Okay.
But
you see how me and our mutual friend from the Outback just like always are salivating over that movie, right?
Oh, Gary? Yeah, Gary loves that.
I didn't know if you wanted to name him or not, but yeah.
Oops. Sorry,
Whoopsie.
Well, nobody knows who he is.
Okay, but you
Just
see how
one
we
of our
always are
aunts.
talking about that
Yeah,
one, or
yeah.
always posting,
Yeah.
and it's just we love that. We grew up. That was, I think, that was the first time I ever rented a movie on my own. Was like where I
The
went out there and
Transformers
picked a movie. Was Transformers movie. So
Okay.
from 1986, and it's just one of my favorites, man. One of my favorites. Killer soundtrack too.
The animated
I'm
Transformers
just,
movie.
I don't know. I'm
One
really
from
just
Oh,
the 80s.
awesome.
looking back at these decades and just really having a lot of appreciation for the crafting, the storytelling, stuff like that.
And it's good, man, to be able to appreciate them like on their own merits. Like I guess, you get pretty easy about things, but I hate when people are like, oh, I couldn't watch that movie. It's too corny. And you're like, dude, it's fucking Blade Runner. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm about to smack a kid right now. Don't make me. And it's
Don't smack a kid, Derek. Don't
Some
smack
of
a
the-
kid.
some of the
well, they're
stuff,
like 21, but they're kids to me. So it's-
Right.
Some of the stuff,
Anybody younger than us is kids.
Right.
There's a few things in the 90s that were a little corny, but I don't know. Something about them is still fun.
But you adapt
Oh, yeah.
with the change. You understand. You have the context. No, this is what I'm getting into, and I appreciate it for what it is. I'm going for the ride. You know what I mean? As
Yeah.
opposed
Yeah.
to nowadays, people watch stuff and they're just so used to having what we have today that when they look back, it's easy for them to look back on older things and kind of snub their nose at it. Like, oh, how stupid. And it's that. Don't be that person. Is all I'm saying. Appreciate
yeah.
them for.
I feel
It's
pretty
like Citizen
old.
Kane, people not realizing that was the first time much of this stuff was actually done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what's been told to me. So I have seen Citizen Kane. I think once we got it from the library and rented it on big projector tapes at the time, played it up on our living room wall. And even at that time, I wasn't super impressed with it, but I think it was just more the story wasn't so super appealing to me. But my brother, the author, was explaining to me about the different techniques and stuff that were used in the film that made it pretty groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting I feel kind of old when we get these new people at my job, and
You
they're
feel
very
old.
young, they're very young, and I asked them about the specific cartoon or this or that, and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
we all
and
get
I'm
to that
thinking,
point, man. It's all eventual for all of us. We all turn into the old, looking down at the new generation when you say
part.
things that you loved, and they're like,
And they're looking at you like,
What's
what?
that?
Who?
huh?
Right?
Oh,
Who?
man, I never heard, and they're not interested. And you're like, oh, hey, check out this TikTok video. And like, I don't give a shit about your stupid TikTok. Put it away. It's like, sorry, I'm turning into Clint Eastwood sitting on the porch. You know what I mean? It's like, only
Sorry,
35
boy,
here,
bro.
man. I'm not supposed to
I'm
happen
going
yet.
all classic. I'm
Yeah.
going the old way now.
Yeah, well, check out. Oh, in '98. You guys said, so we were talking The Big Lebowski. You haven't seen that. You gonna check it out?
Is this a question to me?
Either I don't know who's. You've both not seen it, right?
Have never been interested in that movie.
Oh,
I
It's a-
know a lot of people love it.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get on somebody's bad side.
Uh-oh.
Never-
well,
Good
Sam,
luck,
if you
big
want
one.
it, I can give you. I have codes for it, so if
Oh
you need
my
to see
gosh!
it.
Ding, ding,
I have
ding.
to look
round
and
one.
see if it's in our digital library, the one Tim and I have. I don't even
Okay.
know.
Well,
honestly.
I was going to bring this up, but I know my mom has gotten requests to watch that scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, people have requested that I do the or
Galen
suggested that I
mentioned
do
it.
the
Galen mentioned it.
reaction to the opening,
Yeah.
the D-Day invasion scene. So
Yeah.
I'll see. Let's see.
And
I
you
don't
can
know what that is. Simon.
You can get firsthand accounts of how toxic masculinity is for these 16, 17, 18-year-old
Right.
boys that were
right.
running into
Those-
that.
Wasn't
And that
girls
today's
running out
those
there
little feminist
doing any
people
of
would
that.
have no appreciation for, and so.
Oh, I know.
My grandfather was at the D-Day landings.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Oh,
2
wow.
weeks earlier, he was at Dunkirk.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
Really?
Oh my goodness! What stories he must have had to
Ugh.
tell.
Yeah, he died when I was 8, so I didn't really get to
Oh,
Oh, man.
really get into it because I didn't really understand the whole thing back then. But I heard
Yeah.
stories secondhand from other people in the family.
oh my goodness.
Good.
Yeah, my
So-
grandfather was in
That's
World War II,
interesting.
but I don't think he didn't see any like what you would call action, but it's like
Yeah.
it was always one of those moments where it's like it just had happened, and we knew about it, and we obviously saluted and stuff. It was like one of those things you didn't really kind of, oh hey, did you get to blow up any German people? You know what I mean? It was always it was like a topic you didn't want to talk about too much, you know,
Yeah.
understandably. But
My great granddad, he refused to kill anybody in that war.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went as a conscientious objector, and he was not treated so great by his fellow soldiers because of that. But he just held fast. He didn't believe in taking up arms, and so he was like a sort of a clerk type office sort of. But he was still there when stuff was going down. Like he was shot at. Had no ability to shoot back. He was on one of the ships when a kamikaze was attacking the ship, and they were going down. And he said he remembered seeing bullets bouncing off the plank or whatever you call that floor, the deck of the ship. And he saw the air guns or the guns on the ship because there were multiple ships. He saw them stopping a kamikaze like dead in the air, and the plane fell. And then at some point, someplace they were driving through someplace, I don't even remember where. He spent some time in the Philippines or that area, and he was getting shot at in the back of a truck, and I think he said he was like hiding behind a refrigerator or something like that. And then at one point he was like I don't know if he was on guard duty or he was out somewhere at night, and he was like looking around. He popped his head over this little hill and got shot at. So he experienced stuff, but. It was interesting. He had Alzheimer's, and at the end, as the disease progressed, he would start talking about those things more and more. I guess because his memories were going back to that time more, and so he told us quite a few stories that I found.
Didn't we have another family member that was like in the Battle of the Bulge, or he was a medic over in the European theater? Maybe
Uncle Charles.
Yeah, I think he never. Who told me that he never really talked about it much?
Probably my mom told you that.
Yeah, like all I knew he was a medic, and one of the other family members was under Patton, where he met his wife. And
no, I don't know who that would have been.
Well, I
don't know.
I thought it was your dad's.
Oh, maybe one of his uncles. Yeah, could be. Yeah,
somewhere over there.
Well, we're getting on a real serious note here.
Oh,
Saving Private Ryan. I mean, that's
okay. I was going to address what Simon had mentioned. I don't know what Blind Melon is. Is that that's a band? Obviously, never heard of it.
No Rain.
90s, yeah.
It's a band from where?
The 90s. And the biggest
from
song
the
was
90s.
No Rain.
Okay, no, maybe I've heard some of their songs, but I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I have.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then we had that great release from Natalie and Bruglia. Left Never Torn. I think it was 97, but it really took off in 98. So
I don't know if I know what that
is. Oh, you've heard that song.
I probably have. I probably have. I just don't I don't listen. I'm not into music as much as I am into
Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Come on.
No. I recognize her name, but I did hear one of her songs on the radio. It was one of her older songs, but I don't even remember the title of it. So, I know I'm bad about that.
That's music. That's not movies. And then 98, we got A Bug's Life, right?
Oh, yeah. That too.
And then there was the competing one called Ants that got
Ants with Jennifer Lopez and Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, yes, Sylvester used it in movies.
Yeah.
Animated guy. I think Christopher Walken was in it too.
Oh, I forgot.
Sharon Stone. She did a movie that children can watch. That's crazy. Sorry, I got the Blu-ray. I'm looking at it right here.
She's done some others. Like she was in the King Solomon's, the King Solomon's Mines, and those are fairly family friendly.
Catwoman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have. That's the
that
one
was a
with
beautiful
Halle
film. And she did a movie called Sliver, which you should show to all your children. It's a great film.
So you're sounding like Arturo's coworker, Matt.
Matt Air.
I'm joking.
Family friendly. I know.
Friendly movie.
I know.
You could bring your children.
They're movies that I watched as a kid that like Event Horizon. I probably shouldn't have been seeing this one.
I know we brought our little cousin to go see Suicide Squad.
Well, yeah. We got permission to do it.
And stuff's so tame nowadays. When I watch this 90s, 80s stuff, it was like taboo. And then you watch these now, and I'm like, oh, wow. now they like make it like deliberate. I can't imagine. I'm always not really shocked. I'm not a prude or anything, but it just kind of takes me aback how many times they show like male genitalia now in film.
Oh yeah.
Like full on. And you're just like, oh, what was the point of that? I don't know. We just thought it'd be a funny little thing to show a penis here. Oh,
well, equality.
okay. Yeah. Right. But then I know men are outnumbered because I don't know how many times I've seen full on female. See, it's like, why do men hesitate to say the vulva? But I'm just joking. I don't think there's a proper ratio there because as feminism taught us, breasts are not nudity. So men are getting the short end of the stick here.
Right. So maybe that's what it is.
Well, the junk is all hanging out, but like to display a vulva, you kind of have to.
It's more like porn.
I know.
More involved, you know.
I know. Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic. They showed this. I don't remember last time I've seen. Jason Biggs even had his up there, and
Jason Biggs.
American Pie.
Pie lover.
Okay, American Pie. I haven't seen that.
Oh well, you're missing out, Sin. Maybe if you were a '90s child, you would have got it. But it was,
I was a '90s child, sort of.
Never interested to see that.
They're actually pretty funny. They're vulgar. I mean, I guess that's just. But then again, nowadays they seem pretty tame. But at the time, that's a '99 movie. So Arturo, if you get to '99, you can watch American Pie.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from.
Don't watch it
really
with your mom. It's an awkward viewing, but just
probably would
just on your own. Just get to it. Now I'm warning you, man. Don't do it. And trust me.
Yeah, he would be embarrassed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's.
I would be pretty much embarrassed watching it just by myself.
He's embarrassed. There's nobody there with him.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Just a little note, we've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah, we're almost.
Okay.
I was going to say, like once
we're going to get cut off. Yeah, we have a 4-hour limit. We've gone on a while.
This was fun. It was very long, but boy, was fun. 97 was packed.
Yeah.
There's still so many more movies.
In 97, I wanted to mention, did anyone see Return to Paradise?
We didn't even talk about that.
With Vince Vaughn and Joaquin Phoenix and Anne Heche. That was actually a really good movie. I didn't see that until like last year, I think it was. But I remember it growing up. But it was like one of those few roles. I remember Vince Vaughn is when I was paying attention to who he was. Like I didn't really know who he was. This is when I was started paying attention to film, and they were praising Vince Vaughn, saying he did such a great job in Return to Paradise, and he does like a really serious role. Like now, he got serious. He does serious stuff, but I mean, and that's how he started. But if you look, he kind of got known for being this kind of comedic
goofy.
Yeah, and then you watch him in Return to Paradise, and it's actually it's kind of sad, but it's a good like emotional thing, like where he has to. Joaquin Phoenix is in jail for like a little petty crime in this like Malaysian country, and he's kind of left behind there, and Vince Vaughn is given this ultimatum that the government says if you go back there and serve time, he won't have to do all this thing. And he has to think, well, it's like kind of like a character examination, a moral dilemma, like I'm free. I don't have to do anything. I'm in the States again, or go back there and do my equal share. The crime was petty. You know what I mean? It's stupid. But
yeah,
it's like, it's a good kind of, it gets you thinking on that level. You know what I mean? Like you get engaged. You're like, well, what would I do in that kind of pondering? I mean, we all say, oh yeah, well, we know what we're supposed to say, but what would human nature really have you do?
Right.
But no, Vince did a really good job in that. And so did Joaquin Phoenix. He was really good.
Well, Joaquin is good in pretty much everything. I have not seen that movie, but the very first movie I ever saw Vince Vaughn in, that I noticed him as an actor, was The Cell with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, and that was like 3 years later. So
I was introduced to him in a serious role, and then I started to notice him in comedic stuff.
Well, check out Psycho for '98 too, because as much as that film is kind of,
I have seen that. I think actually, I did see
maligned. He actually did good. Yes. Like his, especially when he tries to laugh. It's just like it's creepy, man.
It was like a shot-for-shot remake of the original. Yeah, I'll try to remember to get a scented candle next time. I don't know. I tell you, this has just been a real stinky night for him. I swear.
Oh, Scooter.
I'm over here like fanning. I was fanning back here. I was fanning back here at one point, and he raised his head and looked at me like, "What are you doing?"
They have no shame, man. They just.
Oh, he's
Let
just
it
been
out.
bombarding me this whole evening, Derek.
Yeah. I'm
Let out
sorry.
the heart bombs.
I know it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
do have to give him his 12 o'clock meds and take him out.
Yeah.
So,
No, we're good. We just keep rambling. I mean, talk forever, but
I know I could talk about films
Well, yeah.
forever.
Too bad Corey couldn't make it, and
Yeah.
I was expecting someone else to come on, but that didn't happen.
Well,
Maybe
that's all right.
next
Still
year,
had a
98.
full discussion.
I look
Yeah.
forward to 98. I would love to talk. I mean, I could talk about 98 forever because that's when I really, that's a sentimental year for me. I was saying, that was the first year that I got heavy into film and paid attention. I had an Entertainment Weekly subscription. I had,
Oh yeah, you were
I was
into
like
it.
12, 13, you know what I mean? So it was like,
Yeah.
it was really cool, man. It was fun.
Hopefully,
So-
it won't be too late
Well,
the next time.
we'll touch base whenever we figure out when we're going to do it. We never know.
You gotta remember, guys, I'm running later. I get home, it's like
I know
7:38,
you're
and it's like,
behind us
oh
by
shoot.
3 hours. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I
Should
think
we-
Simon has everybody outdone though.
He
He's
does.
Yeah.
I
over
can't
there.
complain. I really can't.
Way over there. So hope you
What
can get
time
some
is it
sleep,
over there, Simon?
It's
Coming up on 5.
almost 5.
Oh.
So, and you have a 2 p.m. meeting, so
Yeah.
we're gonna
You
wrap it
gotta
up. Thank
get
you
some
to
rest.
everybody who showed up, and hope to see you again at the next discussion.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Titanic's her favorite movie of all time.
No,